Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
All right, what's up, everybody? LA, you changed your background. Why you bring up the that threw me off. You had a different background when we was in the back than we came on the air. You got homeboy from Coming to America on there. That threw me off. That threw me off bad. So right now, before we even get started, we gotta address something. I'm about to catch a Game Changer and Jackie Jack offline. Me and Game Changer got to catch y'all not offline, off guard. My bad. We had a talk offline. That's what I see. I mixed up offline, off guard. Me and Game Changer had a talk, offline. And when you was on here the last time, you had that background with them bricks right there. And so we had a discussion about whether or not you were locked up. That was because people do be streaming and stuff while they locked up. But I was like, nah, I don't think she in jail right now.
Y'all wrong for that.
Had to ask.
You told me off there. You can go ahead and explain what this is so them bricks can get explained. They already asked about Annette. Annette couldn't make it today. I'm gonna track her down. I mean, or we email, but I'm gonna make sure I track her down because she was definitely the life of the party on the last show. So yeah, we'll make sure we track her down. But I guess you can explain what's going on because we thought
it's just like it's a faux brick paint. That's what it is. Okay. So half the wall is like all faux brick paint, and the other half is like the Atlanta skyline. You can kind of see a little bit of the Atlanta skyline right there.
Okay.
So the other wall is like the Atlanta skyline.
Gotcha. And that's your studio where you do your stitching and sewing and do your business. So that's what's up. What's up. All right. Yeah, we thought you was locked up, but all right, it's all good. And Jada LaRue, I saw you in the chat. I got your email. So yeah, we'll be talking because days like this, I would have needed you because we need somebody else to hop on up. So yeah, and all right, so let's get this thing started. And I'm mad Annette is not here because I really want to know her position on this topic. Femininity coaches. A lot of y'all know the backstory. A lot of them, actually, my first introduction to them, they kind of showed up in this space amongst men talking these stuff, and I'm like, what? It's all men here. What y'all selling to us? Like, what? I didn't get it. But they get a lot of support from men because men generally like their message or whatever. But so when you pick apart their message, does it reek of snake oil? Are they selling snake oil? Are they selling magical pixie dust? That's the first question I'm throwing on the table. And we do this every Friday. We bring in a panel with male and female, and this is LAR first time joining us. I'm definitely honored to have the legend, Mr. LAR movement in the building. So I'm going to go to you first. Our femininity coaches selling snake oil.
Okay. Sick, y'all, so hold up. Let me just start off swinging pettiness.
Yeah. Get all the pettiness out the way. We about it. We with the pettiness. Bring it on.
Are femininity coaches selling snake oil? No, they're selling
Uh-oh.
femininity. But when it comes to black women don't have femininity. That's for black women in particular. They're kind of culturally appropriating white femininity. So you selling a difficult product to a group of people who don't know how to be feminine in their own skin, and they're still trying to figure out how to be feminine emulating somebody else. So it has it's not snake oil, but you're gonna have to give a little Disney, Pixie, Marvel, DC comic kind of fantasy to get them in line.
Damn. Okay, what do you mean by you said black women don't have femininity? Elaborate on that one before I pass it around. I want to hear what you got to say on that. Well, like just expand on that one. What do you mean by they don't have femininity?
Modern day black women
Okay.
have sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have femininity. You can't think of a woman in their 20s right now, 30s right now, 40s right now, probably 50s right now, who black women could say she's feminine. And guys would agree. They'd be like, nah, I'll smash, but she ain't feminine. And this is in all of the households. This is how the daughters are raised. Let's just be honest. How many daughters y'all know? First and foremost, the reason I said emulates white women is because y'all like to talk about y'all hair, but y'all only telling y'all daughters they pretty after y'all straighten their hair, after you perm their hair. Your daughters are walking around here dressed like volleyball players instead of little girls.
Volleyball players.
Well, in sweats, not in the game, but in practice. You know, they dress like hoopers. How about that?
Okay.
Sweats, shorts, yeah, jogging pants, sneakers. When you got grown women looking very uncomfortable. I see grown women walking around like they work on Chevys because they don't know how to walk like women anymore. I told y'all I was swinging with pettiness. I'm sick, so I don't care.
No, bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
But
All right,
no
all right. So
femininity in that.
right on. No, I got you. I just wanted to see where you was going with the black women not having femininity, because it be some debate on this show on how much of it is cultural, how much of it is just baked into the cake. They just that's just that's just how they are. So I just wanted to get a read on you on that one. So right now we about to go to Game Changer on this, and I knew this would be an interesting one for Game Changer, because Game Changer is one of the a lot of people don't know this. He's one of the behind the scenes orchestrators of I'm talking shit, but of what's known as like the pick me sphere, all the pick me's online. He's promoted a lot of them, brought them on his channel, collabed with them, and whatever. And a lot of what they're talking about is, they talk about a lot of stuff similar to what the femininity coaches are talking about. But it's like a up and down thing. Like with some of the femininity coaches, they sound like they just they sound, some of them be sounding like they on that She-Ra 7 spectrum, if y'all know what I'm talking about. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. So I'm gonna pass it to Game Changer on this one. Go ahead, Game Changer. You got the flow. You got the mic. Our
Okay.
femininity coaches pumping and pushing snake oil and pixie dust.
Well, very good question. So, when you said that, when you asked the question, I actually thought that you were talking about the Shira 7 type. So
Well,
I,
no, I mean there's good versions of it. I mean, okay, I hate to drop names or bring names into it, but the first one I ever heard of was Nicole Michelle. Okay,
okay,
I'll throw her name out there, but and nobody would. Well, I think a reasonable person wouldn't put her in the same category as She-Ra 7, but even with the Nicole Michelle types, is there still an element of just of snake oil? Like they're selling these magical dreams or whatever. That's. I mean, take it wherever you want to take it. Don't get clouded by what I'm saying. Just go ahead and take it wherever you want to take it.
okay. So that's a good question. Caught me off guard when the Michelle Nicole Michelle, because I had her on my show,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we talked about the whole. I was on her show and we talked about the me being a nerd thing, and then she came and talking about how she's encouraging femininity, and she got a lot of pushback from the male members on my show. So that was some time ago, but I do remember that. I would say that um, it's not snake oil what she's selling. The product itself isn't really snake oil in cases like that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the motivation behind why people should buy it is. I think that the whole concept, I think that the reason that the audience members buy it is because they want to appear more feminine in order to get um, a man to give them stuff, material goods, and which isn't very feminine at all. I know that's an aspect of being female, wanting stuff, but it's not really feminine in the sense that the reason why they want this stuff is not really feminine. You see, feminine women generally don't want stuff for the sake of having it. They don't want to secure a man just for the sake of personal gain, a new purse, new shoes, and something like that. They want to secure a man's finances in order to secure a family with that man. Leaving that aspect of femininity out of it is um, not actual femininity. It's something that is being left out of it. So it's like teaching everything about boxing, but how to punch. You know, so it's there without that, it's probably not really good. I mean, it's not really good femininity, but it she's selling certain aspects of femininity in order to get women on board with the program. Now, and the reason why, for one, it's not going to work even if they have a bad design, is because you're you're teaching it against women. First of all, it really shouldn't be taught to women like that, because you're putting them at an extraordinary disadvantage. I mean, a greater advantage than if they weren't taught at all. But
Wait, hold on. Wait, you mean you saying it shouldn't be taught to women? When you said it shouldn't be taught to women like that, what specifically are you describing when
what
you
I'm
say
saying
it?
is what I'm saying is a true femininity coach would be teaching it to girls, not women.
Damn.
Um, if you have this product called femininity, it's better to teach it to girls. I mean, that's
Would
something that.
wouldn't that be something if the target market was girl? I mean, you have to target adult women to pay for the courses and put their daughters through it, but they ain't trying to pay for the courses and put their daughters through it. Because that 12-year-old daughter, they in 8 years they competing with her, so they ain't trying to. That's messed up. That's messed up. See, LAR, you got me bringing out my petty too early. You got me bringing out my petty too early. Black Wolf in the building. Black Wolf in the building. He says, "Salute, Captain Bino Nation up." Yep, shout out to Angry Man. He says, "Bino Nation up in this piece. Play my music as a tribute to the bad guy, the late great Razor." Oh yeah, damn, I forgot about that. Yeah, Razor Ramon. We just lost Razor Ramon. I don't even be playing and dropping clips no more, but I think I still got yours. Yeah. See, I got all my stuff in here. Shout out to you, Black Wolf. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I will play you. Shout out to Black Wolf. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Captain Cisco in the building. He says the 3 ways to find feminine black women is to find black women that have only white girlfriends, or find a white boy that chase black women. Feminine will show up for white boy. Get out of there. Captain Cisco back in the building says, I'm gonna write that down. We might touch on that one.
Yeah.
In fact, no, I ain't gonna write it down. I'm gonna star it, and that way I can come back to that. All right, Captain Cisco in the building. He says third way to find feminine black women is go to Hooters. I strongly disagree. Like, what the hell? I like Hooters. I go there a lot. um, I no, I don't think they are that feminine. I mean,
It depends which one you go to.
the lower cup of the ass cheek is out. So I mean, that's that's a bonus. I mean, I ain't complaining, but I don't know if I call him that. I don't know if I call him that. Tan in the building. He says a lot of our women are transactional when it comes with femininity. Woo. What you're going to do for me, or what can I take from him? So no, like the first speaker said, they don't have it in them. Hence the book, daughter. I don't see. Okay, you went left on me, daughter of the slave trade. I don't know how that connects, but overall, everything else you said, I definitely agree with. Snuggles in the okay. Yeah, y'all ain't about to do this to me. Y'all ain't about to do this to me and have me playing like the damn drops. Okay. He said not so now that you did this, you know what time it's time to serenade the people with the beautiful song.
Hi, I'm Snuggly.
All right, I ain't even playing all of it. Thank you, Snuggles. Appreciate you. All right. Keep it moving. Keeping it moving. Let's go to Brenda on this one. Brenda Mumea. That's your name, right?
Muema.
Right,
Yeah,
Muema.
it's gonna be a tongue twister for a
right,
minute.
Brenda Muema. All right, let's go to you on that one. Our femininity coaches selling y'all snake oil.
Well, as LAR said and Game Changer said, it depends on who, which femininity coaches, because they're all hitting with something. Because everybody's trying to sell something. Let's just get it straight. Everybody's trying to get on the trend of femininity. All right, let me see what I can get. Ultimately, I would say yes and no, but whenever it comes to African American femininity coaches, like Nicole Michelle, she does sell the actual product, but of course she has to kind of mix it to make it look nice for people to come in first and then figure out what she's actually selling in the root core. And how to actually figure out if somebody is feminine or a woman is feminine is actually to the root of their heart. What is it? What is it that kind of radiates within themselves? And so that's where
Hold on, wait, time out. You said to find out if a woman is feminine, you find out what's to the root of their heart and what radiates. It sounds like you trying to sell us some snake oil? Like that?
No, not yet. Okay, I'm about to explain myself because I had to go through different phases to actually find my femininity. But it's somebody had already said it. In order to find a Black woman who's feminine, she has to be around surrounded by white women. I started out in drill team, which is it's a very Caucasian influenced drill team world. So that's for dance. They taught us how to be feminine. Of course, we had to wear makeup, had to act, had to smile. We had to smile at all the time. If we were caught with like a mean mugging type of face, we don't display you at the front of the school type of thing. And they just want the best out of the best from outside. Now inside, we also had to figure out how to not bicker at each other, and I guess let it know. And after going through the drill team, I found myself in Latin spaces because I was a Latin dancer for this company. And I actually learned femininity from my Latin sisters because my mom never taught me how to be feminine.
What specifically did you learn? Yeah. What did they teach you? Because like everything that you said, the first part of what you said is exactly why I think there's an element of snake oil and pixie dust that they're saying, because when they say things like, the feminine, the radiance of your root and your core and your exuding certain, if you're a truly feminine woman and walk in the feminine grace, you won't even have to open doors. Like men will just fall from the sky to open doors and pull out chairs from you. It's like they start talking like that, and I'm like, It's like they're basically, and it's almost, and it turned into a situation where almost no matter what she doing or how she doing it, when they define it so vague like that, it's almost like it's an automatic. No matter what, I can say, oh well, you're not doing this, or you're just not walking in true femininity. So now that's why you're not getting that results, because you're not doing the magical, not quite well defined stuff properly. You don't got, shout out to he said you're feminine, but you don't got divine femininity. It's like, that's what I'm like, y'all
from the universe, God,
yeah, that's what I'm like, y'all are selling pixie dust. Like, I know.
Unfortunately, yes, it's a hint of pixie dust, but it's actually more of service, because I'm a very service-based person. I'm here to serve you, regardless, male, female, dog, cat. I don't care who you are or what you are. It's actually more of, I know, it's actually more of, what can I do for you? But somebody did say, if in order to get this, you have to transact everything up front. Like, what am I? Well, this is what I want from you, and you can't get this until you have this. And so we have put condition in femininity, hence the reason why I think everything now sounds like snake oil whenever it comes to femininity. And so we have just lost our role as females because it has not been taught or modeled. It's a mixture of, oh, you got to work hard at school, and then whenever you get, you got to be better than the boys, and then so we never know how to really act. And until we had to, in drill team, we had to do balls. We were privileged as seniors to actually bring a date, and we're having a big ball gown. We can't always do everything for ourselves. So our date had to hold the door so that we can lift our dresses and then walk in. Same thing whenever I choreograph quinceañeras. Like, a lot of the quinceañera and the courts, they're very important because the girl cannot do it by herself. And so we just lost that. There's no debutantes, there's no like social etiquettes. There's nothing I think in our Black community, because all that I actually learned in drill team and in college whenever I was actually learning to teach for my drill team.
All right, I'm gonna circle back to whatever you learned from them Latin women. I want to know some more specifics and details of what kind of, you see, LAR. No, he's sitting there, they taught you how to do some stuff. But all right, go ahead, Jackie Jack. But real quick, E Capone in the building with the $5 super chat says, I got 5 on it. BR, appreciate it. RBR net. Look, RBR, I ain't seen you in a while, man. You know what? You've been talking about people rooting for Putin for like the last 2 years, and then now, look, your whole conspiracy theories are going full circle now. Like, I'm like, hold on. Was the crazy person outside with the sign, with the cardboard sign, yelling and screaming? Did he actually have a point now? Like, he been talking about Putin all this time for no reason. We could be talking about anything. We could be talking about damn relationships in the Black community. He'd come up here talking about we rooting for Putin, and so now, hey. Anyway, shout out to RBR. He says it's a false flag. Black women born automatically female are feminine. The Jessica Expear brothers want a white woman dipped in chocolate.
Well, okay, so if I could respond to that, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
RPR, that's completely wrong. When you say that we want a white woman dipped in chocolate, because the truth of the matter is we want an Asian woman dipped in chocolate. Just to be 100% accurate on that, we want an Asian woman in a Black woman's body if she had an Asian woman brain, like to take care of the Black woman body. That's what we want. We want Jenny Ma dipped in Megan Good. That's exactly, yeah. We want the submissive woman to Q-tip our ears, rub our feet, and send our boys to Harvard. That's exactly in chocolate. Yeah, that's what we want. You're close, RBR, but no, we want an Asian woman dipped in chocolate.
All right, Jackie Jack, go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic. And anybody, I can interject at any time. Any time. You gotta wait for it to come all the way back around to you can interject at any time. Go ahead, Jackie Jack.
I think that the femininity coaches are selling snake oil, and it's because a lot of the stuff that I see, it's like it's all like outer stuff. Like this is how you should walk. This is how you should look. This is how you should greet. And the real problem with a lot of people, a lot of women that don't have femininity is their mindset. I think it's going to take a therapist to make them feminine. It's not a femininity coach is not gonna. It's not gonna work on a grown woman. A femininity coach will work on some girls, but they need a therapist because they have some root issues of why they're so masculine. It's a it's a lot of issues going on. So I really think it's snake oil, and I think they know that because they see how the women act with them. These women give them a hard time,
Mm.
and they're the ones that's teaching them femininity. So what do you think they're how they're treating other people? It's not clicking.
Damn. That so you say it sound like you basically referring to like the simple fact that we can reel off the names of the so-called black femininity coaches or matchmakers who've publicly aired their problems or grievances. There's been a lot of them. The most recent one, I think, April Mason. The legendary video Rebecca Lynn Pope made. Crystal and Karen even went on Kevin Samuels and said that she can certain stuff she can't get black women to do. So it's been an ongoing thing. Face Facts in the building says black women want the power of masculinity. Black women want the power of masculinity has, but not the responsibility or accountability. B-dubs will be feminine long enough to get to divorce court. SYSBM. See, I lose me when you throw in SYSBM when you say divorce court. Like that's the part where it's like all bets are off when you find yourself in divorce court. It don't matter what color the woman is there, but we're talking about certain aspects of a woman being feminine. Then yeah, it's a hard difference. But every race be going for blood in divorce court. I don't want to hear that. but overall, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying and where you're going with that.
So can I take
Yeah,
a
go ahead,
15 minute?
Elia, go ahead.
The thing about the snake oil is feminism was snake oil, and you bought it for the free 99. You thought you could be masculine and flip on your masculine energy like you was Wolverine yanking claws out his knuckles. Like, and I'm gonna yank it right back. And I'm gonna make this man go home and being feminine. And the crazy part about it is don't know how to. Y'all never asked the question of, well, how long did it take me to believe be a man too? How long did it take you to convert to actually walk up to the world and say, I'm in my masculine energy? No, you're just crazy. Like, y'all act like y'all Cam Newton come in the house. super masculinity, and we put it back on. Like, no. Can people sell to you that you were born a female and you actually are a girl and you're supposed to be feminine? They have to sell back to you what you were already born to be because you crazy enough to believe you could be something else.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bernard,
Yeah.
I sent you.
Go ahead.
I sent you an email.
Email. All right. I'll check it when I can. I'm a little.
Oh Yeah.
We on the air. I was about to say, just tell me on the air, and then I said, wait, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I want to share it with you because when you mentioned Hooters, I had to check my phone, and it took me a while to find a picture that I took years ago. And this is an actual thing where I was I was in a like parking lot and driving past Hooters, and everything on the sign was gone except the HOO. It literally just had ho written in lights on the thing, and I took a picture and I shared it with you. So yeah, that's what sent
Damn,
the email.
I really need this email now. I don't see it. You sent which email did you send it to? You sent it to the Bernard Rally 99 or Bernard at the Grown Man Hour?
Yeah, I
Which
resend
one?
it.
Yeah, I need to see that email. I need to share it with everybody. Prophet of Thought series in the building says, peace, brother Bernard, and panel got the MFN Sage in the house. Got the mother effing Sage in the house, referring to LAR. Shout out to brother Xavier in the building. Ryan Decipher in the building says, shout out to the wise and petty LAR movement and Randy Watson. I keep forgetting his name, bro. Randy Watson in the background. That boy good. But shout out. Thank you, Ryan Decipher. Shout out to Snuggles. Is cooking and cleaning part of a woman's job? And if not, what should include and what should they require from a man? We can play around with that one. We can play around with that one. I mean, Snuggles be asking very elementary questions. Is cooking and cleaning part of a woman's job? Okay, yeah. What should they expect of a man? Did everybody just give a generic protect and provide, and then it's in the conversation like damn, she be asking the most elementary questions. I mean, I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate you took the time to type that. But every Snuggles, God damn it, Snuggles. What was that one thing that I saved? I did save a question. Well, no, I want to. No. This is we about to go with this because LAR made a good point about how they were able to sell to women the notion that they could be more masculine, they could be more like men, and then now they're trying to now they're seeing diminishing returns on some of that, and now they're trying to rebrand, repackage, resell to them how to be more feminine. Let's go around. Let's go around the room on that, game changer. What's your thoughts on that? As I dig up this email of the Hooters. Okay, I got it now. Hold on. Go ahead.
What was the question again?
They had with feminism. They basically took the time to try to sell to women to be more masculine, essentially to be more like men and do more like what men do. And now it's in a place now where I guess because of, some diminishing returns on that, they're trying to repackage, rebrand, and now resell to women to be more feminine. What's your thoughts on that one? And hold on, this email it don't got a picture attached.
Okay. I'll resend it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. So yeah, to answer the question, what feminism did was it was a great unteaching of femininity. So everything that great grandma taught you about, how to sit, how to behave, to how to hair care, and I really don't know. As a man, we really don't know what women learn in that way, but we do know that it was unlearned during feminism. So yeah, femininity was unlearned during feminism. I know it's ironic wordplay, but yeah, that's what essentially happened. And now they want to reteach it in order to get the benefits of it, but it's not. The reason behind it is why it's not going to be truly learned. They're going to be at an extraordinary disadvantage in that regard because they're doing it to they're not okay. So the whole purpose of femininity, the things, the etiquette, the finishing school was to secure and preserve a family. Now, the women who are trying to do that in their 30s and 40s and stuff like that for other reasons, they're losing the essence of it. So they're still going to lose when they come across men who actually was taught masculinity, and to actually seek the Asian woman dipped in chocolate. Most are going to see through that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look who decided to join us.
I know she had to.
45 minutes only, please.
45 minutes. 45 minutes. That's cool. That's cool. I think should we racing against the clock? I think Brenda actually got to leave kind of early
Yeah.
too. So but all right. So have you been listening in?
Yep.
Okay, so you're up to date on the topic. So if I pass it to you, you came ready to go.
Well, I came especially to go.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Because I missed it.
How you doing?
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Hi. So the question is, are femininity coaches selling snake oil, right?
Yes, that's the question.
I don't think that they are. I think that a lot of what they teach is actually true. So women should be feminine, women should be in relationships, and women should have expectations to be treated properly within relationships. Where the problem comes is that they do not give the two face of the coin, which is that as much as women should expect to receive these things, I don't think they spend a lot of time talking about what women should be bringing to the relationship. So I have a video where I say that I'm the table brigade. Some of them do teach that women are this proverbial table, and so all you have to do is just be pretty, be skinny, and that's all you have to do. And I think that's where the misunderstanding is.
Mm-hmm.
You look shocked.
You said I look shocked? No. I was looking at super chats. No, I kind of agree with what you're saying. I'm trying to make sure I caught the beginning of it, because at the beginning it looked like you was going the route of saying, I think most people agree that there's a element of snake oil in what they're selling. So from your perspective, what exactly are they teaching women? Because like I was talking about something that Brenda said earlier, where she was talking about, I forgot how she explained it, the inner core of femininity, the divine roots of such and such. I mean, it sounded like it was just magical language to just try to make it sound good to get people to buy something. That's what it sounds like.
Okay, I don't believe in that hocus pocus. So I don't believe in some divine nonsense. I just believe that women are women, and women should act like women, and women should maintain their feminine traits. They should be polite, they should be kind, they should be inspirational, they should be non-argumentative. Now, there are a lot of people who teach that. I'll give you an example. Can I name people?
Yeah, go ahead.
So if you look at a lady like Eva Monroe, for example, she's a Black lady. She talks to women and she teaches both sides of the relationship. If you go to the other side of the block, people like, say, Shira, I've done a video about her. She teaches nonsense to women because she teaches them that, just come to the table, smile, and this man will do everything for you. That's nonsense. So some do sell snake oil, but a lot of them do not. The idea that a man should treat you well is not snake oil. That's true. So all women should be teaching that. But what they should be teaching is, just as much as you want a man to treat you like a queen, like the best thing that happens in sliced bread, you too have to value men and understand that they are the best thing since sliced bread as well. So it's
All
a
right.
mutual advice, mutual appreciation of each other. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
You're gonna lose your feminist title saying that women need to understand that men are the best thing since sliced bread. You you stated you was a feminist, but then yeah.
A feminist, but why that's the thing. Why can a feminist who wants the best for women not also be a woman that likes men? There are a lot of feminists that love men. You're talking about the extreme feminists.
The wave that we're in, third, fourth over here in the West. And so,
what'd you say? Say that again, Brenda.
The wave that we're in, the feminist movement, third and fourth, are the ones who actually have created this this problem of, okay, so what's a femininity? That's why I do say that they're selling some sort of snake oil, because we have lost all those core roots. And the way you're describing, it's exactly what that pixie dust, I would even say, should know. And that's not something that it's taught. Like something now, no, that's not something that it's modeled. Now that's something that has to be taught. Even KS was saying, has your mother actually taught you this, and as she modeled it? And so teaching and modeling are two different things. So mom can say, oh, make sure whenever you have a man, you cook for them, but mom doesn't cook. You see, like it creates this type of pendulum, like uncertainty. Okay, is it this or is it this? And so with everything that you've said is exactly how femininity is supposed to be, but it's not what it's modeled. And so, and kids, everybody should be showing, but most of it is just talked about, and it's not. It's a should.
Every wave of feminism, really, you can't be a feminist and be feminine at the same time. It's not just the third and fourth wave. All waves of feminism is a push to be more man-like. Even the first wave of feminism, when they was pushing to wear pants so they could ride bicycles, you know, that is, you're looking for a way to be more man. You're looking for a way to put on pants. That's ridiculous. You know, at the time when everyone was wearing the poofy skirts, the feminists were at like, how can I get some jeans on? You know, that's not femininity, to want to wear pants and to want to do man stuff, or to want to get paid as a man to do man stuff. You know, the two things are mutually exclusive.
I'll answer after the man in gray speaks, please.
All right, okay. Go ahead. LA. Go ahead, the man in gray.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'm very sorry.
No, that's okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Maybe femininity shouldn't be taught as in a response to what a man should do, because we don't teach masculinity as, you know what, if she does this and she's supposed to be like this, and when she does that, you'll finally do this, what you're supposed to do. That becomes a problem, because, as you know, kind of what Game Changer said, lesbians have babies all the time. That don't mean that they like men.
Damn.
And if you're gonna be feminine, you got to be feminine when men aren't in the room also. It's not something that goes, you know, I'm gonna be feminine after. Let me see this mortgage. Yeah, you paid it. Yep. Phone bill. Yeah, that's yep. All right. Lights, gas. Yeah. Let me.
Brenda, what Netflix you just do? Account. I looked down, looked up, and you was doing a little salsa dance.
Yeah. I'm just so now. You know what? I'm about to turn on my femininity. Because you wind up being like the dancer at the end of the tip drill video who got the card swiped down her butt. Like, it don't cut on like that. Guy, and for ladies nowadays who swear to God that they half masculine, you know, will think like half of a man and say, listen, it doesn't make sense. It's like telling me I'm a baker, but I won't put sugar, flour, and eggs and none of this stuff until you show up. But you're showing up for baked goods. I'm showing up for cakes and pies, but you know what? I'm making half a cake and pie right now until you show up in here. And if I like how much money you got or how you look, I'll make the whole pie or the whole cake. For us, it's like, you see how you looking at me crazy saying that? That's how we look at y'all every day.
Who say that?
Huh?
I've never met women who say that.
But women do that.
Well, hold on, wait. Have you heard of the concept? And I was about to go to Jackie Jack on this one, but she just dropped down. The concept of conditional femininity. Have you
I've
heard
heard
of?
about. I've heard about.
Yeah, so if they online and on Twitter and on their platforms, they're essentially advocating for conditional femininity. The notion that we'll be feminine, if certain things are met, if certain criterias are met, then I'm going to feminine. Then they're going it's going to be. I used to always joke when they say that they're going to when they meet they walk around masculine all day, and then when they meet, I mean, when they actually meet a masculine man, they stop being masculine. It's like
Morphin' time.
and then they just morph into this feminine woman all of a sudden.
I think in their defense, what you would find, and going back to Game Changer's question, in their defense, what you'd find is that before the Second World War, a lot of women stayed at home. In the 40s and all that, women were at home. But when the world wars started and a lot of the men had to go to war, what happened is that women found themselves in situations where they actually had to do men's job because there were no men around. And they had to support the government by doing men's job, at least in the UK. I know in the US, there are other factors, like I think there was a time when a lot of men were disenfranchised, let's just put it that way, in quotes. And so a lot of women had to stay at home to bring up their children. Same in the slave trade, even in the West Indies, men were taken away to work and women had to look after their children. So women had to force themselves into the strong role for survival. Okay. And then they found out, well, since I'm here making gunpowder or I'm here going to work, well, it's a bit too difficult. I might trip over my skirt. I want the right to wear trousers. So it's not because they wanted to be men, it's because they wanted to be able to dress in a way that was practical to do the man's job that they were doing. And then it just skyrocketed from there. So there are valid reasons why women have had to step into masculine roles. And I think these women that talk about conditional femininity are women who have been left without men, no blame apportioned to anybody, but they've had to be the strong person in the home. And if you go back to the statistics in America, you'd find that I think something like 70% of the homes are actually held down together by women. And so now when they meet a man,
70% of the homes with children, I
with
think.
children, yes, that's what I should have said.
Yeah. I mean, this men, when the man is not with a woman, he don't just disappear and cease to exist. He's still in a home somewhere working and paying bills and doing stuff.
Yes,
here's
the
well, can I
quickly let's go.
No, Ella got it.
Okay, go ahead, Elia.
I'm gonna be quick. I'm a man. I cook. I clean. My son lives with me. I take care of my son. But you're not gonna see me walking around with a bonnet on and some boy shorts. Okay? It doesn't make sense to us. Okay? Like, oh, because I had to make breakfast, I just needed to put this kimono on. I just feel so pretty now. Like, that's how y'all doing this stuff. You know, I remember one day I had to braid my niece's hair, and from that point on, I just put on some lipstick because I'm in the energy. No, y'all have gone down a road.
Energy.
And making ammunition for the war, the women. It was a little bit more than just cooking.
I think we get, well, if you go into the historical root cause of it, I think we get that part. I think hold on, I'll go to you in a second, Game Changer. But no, that part is understandable to some degree. If she would literally, wore a dress every day, that was all she had. Women couldn't wear nothing but dresses. Then all of a sudden, because of war, like literal war, they had to start doing something. So he's like, hey, I could do this easier, not in a dress. I can operate these machines better if I don't have something with all these loose, little parts to it that can get caught in the machine. Okay, cool. I mean, everybody understood that, but I don't know if you could just take that that situation and then just say therefore and then extrapolate it all 70 years later. That doesn't always exactly work, but we'll circle back to that. I did want to go to Jackie Jack, because Jackie Jack, I'm noticing you don't butt in as much. You just gotta jump in. But go ahead. I was going to throw it to you on conditional feminine, or just whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
I was gonna piggyback off what LAR just said. That was funny because it's just like you think about a Chick-fil-A worker has a uniform. They wear this uniform to Chick-fil-A. It's not like they come home and like, well, since I'm a Chick-fil-A worker, I need to wear this uniform all the time. Like I never take this uniform off because I'm a Chick-fil-A worker. It's just like you can have a uniform for work and then switch your clothes when you get home. So how's that an excuse for now we got to wear pants all the time? Because I have to do it at work.
No, because it's more, if they find it more convenient.
Yeah,
even nurses stopped wearing nurses' uniforms and started wearing scrubs instead because they found it more convenient.
Right. So it's not just about, well, we had to wear this because we took on men's jobs. It's because they liked how it felt afterwards. It's just like, why do I have to dress up like in these dresses? It's uncomfortable. So it's not just about just the job they had to take on.
No, but over time they found out that it's more convenient, and so it came and it stayed.
That's
well, I mean, that's the problem. Basically, they're saying they found comfort in being like a man. Like if a man found pantyhose more convenient, then he's lost some of his masculinity. Like, you know, like if he had to wear panties for a role in a Medea movie and then he just say, oh no, I'm going to continue to do this forever, then he's lost some of his masculinity. Like,
are you implying that Tyler Perry, even 25 years in the game after being a billionaire but still dressing up like that, is just some of his masculinity is just gone? I think Ramil made a stream. At what point do we just put him in the same category as RuPaul or any other cross-dresser or whatever? At some point we do gotta put him in that category. Like, it's like, how's he still in a dress? But anyway, Game Changer, you showing oh yeah, okay, that's the Hooters picture.
Yep, that actually happened. When somebody mentioned Hooters in the chat room, it reminded me of when I took that picture. I was cracking up like that. Like, yeah, but that actually happened. It's the Hooters with the turs missing. So women actually worked in a place that's labeled ho. Like,
okay.
And they dressed in shorts to go to it every day. I was cracking up when I see it.
Good for them. Freeman's Journal in the building says if she can't cook, she better be able to replace spark plugs, build a fence, and rewrap insulation on an AC ducting. All things I have done. Oh, you don't want to do that? Beer and sandwich. Thanks. And what the hell was that? GC, did you just try to share something? Okay, never mind.
No, that's just my wallpaper when I took down the Hooters thing.
Oh, that's just the wallpaper on your. Okay, that was interesting wallpaper.
No, right. Well, I shared the wallpaper. What was so interesting about it?
I maybe I just saw it in a flash. It just looked like, okay, he's sharing it. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that threw me off when I just saw that flash on the screen. I was like, what the? It made me jump. Like I didn't know. I just saw some weird eyes. Anyway, all right. That's not as bad. I mean, if I had to guess what kind of wallpaper was saved on your monitor, I would have assumed worse.
I got it.
But all right.
No,
but I got a question.
Oh no. After LAR, I wanted to continue on that.
You weren't done. I forgot. I did cut you off. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish, and then LAR can throw his question out there.
Well, so here's why I think that the war thing is bunk, because it's not a push for it. You see, the war aspect of it, where the government asks women to do these things, like, listen, your men are out fighting. We need you, in the munitions department, for the Department of Defense. That's one thing, and that's the government asking. That's men asking women to do masculine things on a temporary basis. Women actually going out and pushing for it. That's what feminism is, and that's a whole different ball game. So that really speaks to the mentality of the women, not the necessity of the time. Like, if you notice, when you hear the term 50s housewife, what does that mean? Well, it means exactly that. It's a 50s housewife, not a 40s. I need you in the munitions department for, I need you out building tanks for us. It's a whole different era. They basically said, okay, the war is over. Get your ass back in the house and do the 50s housewife thing.
And they decided, no, they didn't want to, because
and that is the masculine part. So
They
don't blame the war. Don't blame the war. The war was over. Women were back in poofy dresses, mopping the floor and baking me a lemon meringue pie. That's what they was doing. And then they decided to push back after that. So it had nothing to do with the war, because the war was over. The 40s was the war, and then the 50s happened, and then afterwards they say, you know something? I remember my grandma wore jeans. I want to wear them too. Had nothing to do with the war. It was a whole new crop of women who never seen war who decided, you know something, I want to wear pants. No, it's your desire to have my penis that made you do that. It is.
Listen, as a feminist, I can tell you I have absolutely zero desire to have a penis. Okay. What we do like,
that's not Udi.
Once we found out that we could work and that we were strong and that we could do more than just stay at home and, make babies and bake bread, some women decided that they wanted the right to work. They wanted the right to vote. They wanted the right.
That's a masculine thing. You wanted the right to be men, and that is not feminine.
We wanted to be women who had choices. That doesn't mean
no. Men. If I was a man pushing for a choice to wear a dress, I would not be considered a masculine man.
Well, that's up to you.
So you were pushing to do man stuff. Voting is man stuff. Like working is man stuff. You know what women stuff is? The stuff that you say you wanted to do more than. Staying at home baking and baking my children and baking my food is woman stuff. And the fact that you push away from it, that is femininity. There is nothing more femininity than baking my children and baking my bread.
All right.
We go back to the Bible and we just woman. She was a businesswoman. She worked and she was married. If you go back to the Bible and she was.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I heard. I missed something. Who are we talking about now?
You can be feminine at work. He thinks that you cannot be a feminine.
No, I'm saying if you're pushing.
I'm trying to figure out which Bible character was referenced. You said who did you say?
I was saying that the virtuous woman, which is one of the women that you're supposed to aspire to be like in the Bible, is a woman that had a husband, was very good to her husband, respected her husband, did everything very feminine, but she also
no.
But she was.
And Proverbs it specifically says to get me a sandwich. No, that is the virtue of a woman. If you want to be a Proverbs woman, it says bring bread from far and wide and put me in it and give me it.
In the Bible, that hold on, real quick. In the Bible, that virtuous woman. Hold on, wait, real quick. She was a prostitute though, right?
No.
Okay, listen.
No, not yet.
That's something that I do whenever somebody mentions a woman in the Bible. I just say she was a prostitute, right? And oddly enough, I'm half the time I'd be right.
Well, all women.
No, she was
LAR was trying to jump in, but yeah, a lot of them chicks in the Bible.
I'm gonna ask this question, but I'm going somewhere. Would you ladies date, marry, or procreate with Lil Nas X?
With who?
Hell no.
The guy that does the gay things and sat in front of a devil? No way.
No way.
No
way.
Way.
He's exhibiting his masculine and his feminine energy.
But
like
the
y'all.
thing is,
so but y'all want us to date Lil Nas X Keisha as a norm.
Lil Nas Keisha.
Normal women though, that's an extreme. This is
no. That's my point. What you decide is normal is an extreme for us because it's so far left now.
A woman who has
the virtuous woman you were talking about in the Bible, these women are far more Jezebel than virtuous women. The women you're talking about who are feminists, who you had a choice to work and you decided to work, that's cool, but you got another job. You can't go to your job and then go home and say, I don't want to do this life role because I went to work today. See, men can't even do that.
I think that it's so small-minded when a man thinks that all a woman is here to do is cook your meal and have
No,
babies. There's
that's
more
not
to
what.
a
No, no,
woman
no,
than
no,
No. That's
no,
not what
no.
I'm saying. I'm
What I'm
saying that
saying
she has
is
to clean
what
too.
I'm saying
No.
is you can't say
clean
I'm a
too.
woman. I chose to contribute to society because I get a purpose out of that. But since I did that, I'm gonna go home and I'm not gonna contribute to my family.
Oh, that would be
That's the
wrong.
option. That's the option that guys do not deal with well
That would be wrong.
because, but
I
that's the
disagree.
norm.
But that's the, yeah, and I
That's the
see where
norm.
he's coming from, because we're as women, modern women, we're picking and choosing where to distribute our energy. We chose a majority of our energy, 90%, at society, pursuing our careers, and we have only 10% energy at home. When I totally understand where Naked Truth is coming from, we should be able to do 50-50. We should be able to give the same amount of energy at home and the same amount of energy to our work, whatever kind of work we're choosing. However, and everybody has actually said a lot of things, but whenever it comes to the Proverbs 31 woman, is actually she's giving 50-50. But that's the thing. Women, we don't know how to do that, because at the end of the day, our energy is very limited. And so we still have to sleep. And so we have to count our 24 hours, 8 hours probably already accounted for. And then
I
the
think
rest is at work. And so there's
I
not a
think
lot of hours at home.
she was doing 80-20. But if you want to talk about the defeminization of women in America, especially, one of the things, apart from what I said before, but if you look at the media itself has a role to play in the defeminization of women's roles and gender roles. Because if you look at programs like Sex and the City, it's not that they don't want to cook for men. The whole show pushed not cooking at all. The whole era of get your food through Uber, and they didn't even show women in the kitchen. And showing a woman in the kitchen was now seen as what's it called, sexist. Like, you're being sexist if you show a woman washing dishes. Why can't they show the man washing dishes? So all that media had to play into all of that. Media has a big role to play in what's happening in America and what's happening in the UK. Now, if you go to other countries where they didn't show those kind of programs, you would find that women still work, because whether you believe it or not, those who like to fantasize about Africa being the best place for getting feminine women, actually, when you go to Africa, women even work the most, because they work breaking bricks, they go and fetch firewood. They basically are the ones that look after their family, but they still respect the man as the head of the home. So women working is not the problem. It's the relationship they have with men and how they rank men in their lives that's the problem. And in America, Sex and the City showed us that these 5 girls were living a great life, going and having cocktails. I don't think we saw anybody's kitchen. I don't think we saw any of them cooking. And so all the women decided, well, actually, cooking is a bad thing. And that's where the problem is.
The issue with that is we're adults. We're not children anymore. Men like action movies, but because we like action movies, we just don't jump out and hop out in our cars and go shooting in traffic.
Some do.
Because the media taught me that, you know what, I could do a donut and put an AK out of a window and shoot 7 people because it was a cool scene. So but ladies, y'all watch TV as grown women, and y'all decide somehow, because I saw this on a show or a movie, I don't live in real life anymore. Yeah, the ladies in Sex and the City didn't cook. That means by proxy, they was always on dates. That means some man was paying for their food, or they were buying lunch or this or brunches. That means they weren't even fully taking care of themselves. It looked good to walk around and have other dudes to help take care of you while you walked around and looked stupid. And by the way, all those women was white.
I don't think we watched Sex. Did you watch Sex and the City?
No.
Let me throw this out there before I know Game Changer wanted to jump in. Well, actually, what I'm throwing out there is something that I think I got from Game Changer. Say a lot of stuff that I can't remember if I thought of it or I heard him say it, and then, but I don't know. I think you can let me know if this came from you, Game Changer. When she was talking about, women on Sex in the City, how they wouldn't be shown in the kitchen, they wouldn't be shown cooking, and they never would show them cleaning, and extrapolate that forward. There's a whole crop of women who saying, hell, it was in the song, I don't cook, I don't clean, let me show you I got this ring. When women are talking about they don't clean, I understand how you could make it in the world, not cooking, but the not cleaning thing, at some point when a woman says she doesn't clean, we don't even associate that with her having a nasty ass bathroom with a pissy ass toilet and a ring around it, and it just smelled like piss and shit. Like, why don't we ever think about it like that? Like, when a woman says she don't clean, like at some point we just got to say, okay, if you're not cleaning, that means your bathroom smell like piss and your pussy probably stink. It's like that's what it should elicit when a woman says she don't clean.
Maybe
anyway.
she pays for it.
She's who?
Maybe she's saying she pays for somebody else to do it.
Well, okay. Let's go with that for a second.
Maybe.
Who?
I'm not saying I agree, but I'm just
saying. No, I get it. Who is she paying to do it?
Some of the women.
Exactly. You see how it's not. You see how feminism isn't about uplifting women, because it's about getting them to clean your damn toilet. You see, they're basically saying feminism, modern feminism is, I don't care about the oppression of women. It's all about me. You don't care about the oppression of the woman you getting to clean your damn toilet. Nope. So
no, she's getting paid. It would be oppression if she does it for free.
So it's about money, but it's not about family. All this stuff. You're breaking up the family structure. Listen, I looked up Proverbs. I don't know where I put my Bible, but I looked it up, and you know what it says? Proverbs 14. It says she's like a merchant ship bringing food from afar. Number 15. Yeah, she gets up while it's still dark. She provides food for her family and portions for her servant girls. You want to know what that means? It means get me a sandwich. That's what it means. That is the Bible saying me.
Servant girls.
Huh?
She gets portions for her servants.
No, it says for her family first, you see, and her servant girls. She gets that. But the point is, it is her duty to get me sandwich. That is the point. First. God said, get me a damn sandwich. That's what it says.
We're saying that women shouldn't get men's sandwiches. What we're saying is, no, we're not saying women shouldn't get men's sandwiches.
No, you're saying that the Bible says that, they should work and build bricks and stuff like that. No, I'm saying that the Bible is specifically saying you get me sandwich. That's what it's saying.
No.
That's yes. That's what it says. It says, like a merchant ship, get me sandwich. That's what it says.
It didn't only say get.
Yeah, but we can do more than sandwiches. Game changer.
It named many other things after that, but Game Changer decides he only wants the sandwich, so he's going to stop reading that chapter there.
Just a sandwich. I can get you some fruits.
Let's pretend the rest does not exist.
No, like you can no. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of different type of sandwiches. So I'm not just saying one thing. No, but what I am saying is that
you want your wife. If I was your wife, Game Changer, you want me to cook, you want me to clean, you want me to give you a sandwich, you want me to give you sex, and that's it.
No, I want you. Let's not forget flip and float. And
wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Annette, what were those things that you said? He want him to cook.
He wants his wife to cook, clean, give him sex, have his babies. What else? Iron your clothes. And for the rest 60 years of her life, her whole life should be revolved around giving you sandwiches, sex, flipping and floating, and ironing your clothes for 60 years. That's all the sum total of the human being that you want to come and live with you should be.
No. Child rearing. And
and feed, clothe, bathe the children too. That's it.
Nope. I said rearing, not babysitting. No, not babysitting long term, not keeping them alive. I'm talking about rearing. I want you to send them to
And when they
Harvard,
leave
and
home,
then and
you
then
go
and
back
then
to the
and then
sandwich
I want you to look after the grandchildren as well
You
onto
see,
perpetuity. That
this
is what I want from you.
you see, this is
Absolutely.
I'm a,
why women fight against men like that.
What
Because if
men like that? How
this is
how
this
what do you
is
want?
why we need
What do
feminists.
you well answer me this.
This
Outside
is
of that,
why
what
we
do
need
you want? I
feminists.
am giving you the opportunity to rear your own damn kids, and you are saying I want more. What do you want? You want to lay some bricks? You want
You
to
can
swap
rear
the deck?
your own
You want to
kid.
clean the chimney or something like that? See, that's that man stuff I was
You can
talking
rear
about.
your own
No,
kid.
But hold on, but wait a
By
minute.
the way, I can speak on this because I've raised 4 that
okay.
I birthed through my own body.
Well,
So I
that's
can
good.
this.
Where else
So
would they
okay,
come from?
I've raised 4 children, but I was still able to be a lawyer. I was still able to be a nurse, and I'm still a homemaker at home. There is more to a person's life.
Are you ironing your husband's clothes?
No, because he
So
doesn't need his
you
clothes.
have you're derelict in your feminine duties. You
Oh, come on. All
But he
right.
doesn't need it.
Let's
no. The
He
stuff,
likes
no,
ironing
the
his own
stuff you,
clothes.
the stuff. Oh God,
But what he
the
doesn't like
stuff
doing
that
Hey,
is
hold on, wait, time out. I want to catch it before it go too far. Because on the last show, on the
men and women. Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
on the last show it got personal, and then that wasn't
yeah.
that
No,
wasn't
I'm not gonna get. I don't want to get personal. I apologize.
okay.
For getting
Yeah,
personal
that yeah.
last show. But no, what I'm saying is, as far as you listed a bunch of stuff, and half of them isn't you're not doing, and then you say, "Oh, but I'm a lawyer," but you're not giving the father of children sex on demand and stuff like that, or ironing the clothes, or cleaning his house. You're
A
not
lot
doing
of
those things. Listen, I
a
don't
lot
care if a woman wants to build a space shuttle and fly to the moon like Apollo Creed. I don't
fine.
care as long as she gets my sandwich too. Like, and as long as she does all the stuff that's on the stuff that is on the list, and here in Proverbs come first. Be like a merchant ship and bring me my sandwich. Like that comes first. If you can do anything outside of that you want besides wear pants, and but the primary thing is do that stuff. That's not your primary. Your primary was law school and all
No, I went to law school after 3 children.
okay, so then that's fine. You took care of your primary goals, and then as a secondary goal, you did the other stuff. I don't care. Listen,
Hold on, let me push pause right there, because that is worth pointing out. If you know if if you can legitimately say that, or if a woman could legitimately say that, hey, I got married, I raised my kids, I did all the traditional womanly stuff, but at some point, when my kids got a little older, I then said, okay, let me explore or chase some of my dreams, and if they work it out like that, that's fine. It normally happens in reverse order. It normally happens in reverse order, where she want to chase her dreams and accomplish all that she want to accomplish and do all that she want to do and everything that she wanted to accomplish. Sometimes it take up to 35, 36, 37 before she get all that stuff done, and it's like, okay, now I'm ready to be a wife with eroding eggs and to give you some babies now. I mean, it's like, so that's
As Kevin Samuel says, your eggs are on life support. But
yeah.
but the reason that happened, why women started prioritizing work, is what I said earlier. And I'm going to shut up now because I know that Jackie hasn't spoken, and Sandra. But the reason why is because women were forced over time to prioritize work, because they didn't have men in the house with them. And whether we like it or not, we're not going to blame the men or the women. American women typically in the last 30 years have been raising families. They found that they can work, and they've been getting better jobs than they could in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And so they're enjoying this independence. And the mothers who did that have passed it on to the girls. And so now it's hard for the girls to even think of not having a career before they get married, which is where we have a problem. Because by then, your eggs will be on life support.
So I have something to say about as far as when you guys were listing off the duties of a wife and mother. It came off to me. It came off that Annette was downplaying a woman that stays at home and doesn't work.
Yeah, she was.
That's what it came off to me like that. And there's
I stayed at home and I didn't work when I was having my babies.
yeah,
But it
but
was
you
like
could
just that.
you
Like there's something better out there. That's the best thing you can do.
right. You were like,
Why you were
well,
confused?
that's all you want me to do until I die. You had a problem with that being your passion in life, to raise your family for the rest of your life. Take care of your family for the rest of your life, and only do that.
I think
And
for a woman who has 4 kids, how many do you have, Jackie?
I have 0 kids.
Oh, okay. So I don't think you can really speak on what I was thinking because I've already had 4, and I
You
did.
can clarify it right now.
Housewife. I've done
Do you see a problem?
everything I preach. I have lived. I'm not speaking out of a book. I'm actually telling you my lived experience. I know women, even in America, who are happily married, happily raising children, right? But what I'm saying to Game Changer is you can't gone. There were days when women just only had children and did nothing else. But we've moved away from that. You cannot say that that's all the woman would do. When she's done it happily, she can then go out and work. And where we are today actually is that one man, most men in America, cannot sustain the home with his one salary.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved beyond when men could sustain.
Yeah, it depends
That's
on where you live and what kind of lifestyle you want to live.
But
More.
Let me
that was
address
caused by
this.
feminism,
even
though.
without that.
And yet, hold on, wait, Jackie, hold on, Jackie Jack just made a real good point. That was caused by feminism. To some, if you take all the women, if you take 50% of the population, and most of them were not in the labor force, and you throw most of them in the labor force, that creates damn near more labor than work. When basically that makes the cost of labor going down. That makes the amount of men that are working go down. And so, like, basically, if all women just, this is just a hypothetical scenario. If all women just walked off the job and quit, more labor would be needed, and I mean the price for labor would go up. That means wages will go up, and then all those men and all the men that would be now working would be able to make enough to sustain the woman who just walked off the job. But by you taking all those women and putting them on the job, then that's an oversaturated work market, and labor go down, which means now you need 2 people. But if all of them just quit working, the economics, an economist like Thomas Sowell would have to run the numbers to make sure that I'm exactly right. But if all of them walked off the job, it would more than likely go back to one income being able to sustain a household anywhere in America. So feminism is the cause of that. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Feminist, because of that statement you just made.
What'd you say?
That's why I'll always be a feminist, because of that statement you just made.
I know, because I made a statement that would put women in a situation where they will be provided for by a man. You know, the thing that all of y'all want. I'm sorry.
So terrible.
I'm sorry.
What a life.
This is why, in essence, most men don't respect feminism. Because feminism and feminists are never really 10 toes down in their ideology. They come in and they come out like a 12-year-old child who wants something but then doesn't want it anymore, and then they want to leave it, and then they want something else, and then they don't want it anymore, and they leave it. And you're dealing with adult men and adult women, and feminists say, I want to work, but you know what? I'm stressed. I got to go home. I want to work, but okay, now I want to be a mother and I want to go home. I can work just as hard as you men, but I'm a lady. I really don't want to work that hard. I can be a wife and a mother, but when I get home, I don't feel like being a wife. And when my children, I don't always feel like being a mother. But I'm gonna still go to work because I got the option to do it. And you're saying this to people who they don't have all of these options to pick up and put down being a man or an adult or a father at all these given times. And plus, your expectations is, even if I don't like men and I'm a feminist, I still expect date night. Even if I'm single, I still expect chivalry, even if I'm single.
Where did you get your statistics from that women who are mothers don't want to be children and women don't want to be wives? Because we
Women
can't,
don't.
we
Mothers
cannot
don't want to be
say
children.
what we want, but I don't think there's any basis in what you're saying, because there's very few women there who are saying, I want to work, but I don't want to work. No. That's just.
I want to, hold on, wait,
when
real
you work
quick.
on a job in America, there's only one gender who leaves work on a normal basis for stress.
Oh,
all right.
okay.
I want to push pause on that. Brenda, you've been writing, for like the last 20 minutes. You've been writing stuff down, so I'm just interested to see what have you scribbled in the notes with your little crayons you over there.
It is actually my crayons. It's
See, damn, I was just playing, but you just pulled out the Crayolas for real. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's because everybody's hitting great points, but with I mean, yes, the feminist movement has created actually a lot more problems a lot more problems for women to actually be able to efficiently be a great mother or a wife. And actually that's the main problem I think I'm hearing the guys are communicating. But the thing is, as women, we can't just be a wife. We can't just be a mother. That's why we're doing multiple things at the same time. But we have seasons, and so now I understand why this manosphere actually ended up existing, and especially KS. Like those seasons are very critical, and the timeline of it is very critical. But women, we think we have more time, and so but we end up having geriatric pregnancy, and or our eggs are just dying out. And now, whenever we're ready, that's when we think the men should take me as I am. But at the end of the day, the men are going to get the younger women because they're more fertile. Da da da. So now that's what the feminist movement, in my opinion, has created a problem. But what kind of solution can we actually have? Because we do have to do it both. There's no way around that. We do need two incomes in America. There's no way around that because they created all that, But ultimately, as women, are we going to, if we're looking for the provider male, are we going to actually let our men provide? Meaning that we are going to, if we have kids, like I know myself, if I have kids, I have to be very involved. 0 to 4, probably be a stay-at-home mom. I'm not going to lie about that because they're going to need a lot. And I don't have a village to raise my kids. And so I can't pass on to aunties, So I have to be the one who's a main nurturer, teacher, etc. While my guy goes out and brings on the bread. But I will need help, and that's another topic itself. And so that has created that one problem that I got to figure out how to do it. And the other part that I was hearing somebody, LAR was saying, women, we go with our feelings. Oh, I can work hard as a man, but I don't feel like it today. So that has created a lot more turmoil within relationship because we're doing the conditioning thing. We're turning on our femininity, we're turning off our masculinity, or turning on masculinity and not knowing how to act. And the main thing with guys, like, don't embarrass me type of thing. That actually is a real thing. But I don't know where we're going in the future. And working in the medical industry, especially as a CNA for 4 years, working underneath nurses, I've seen patients who have dedicated their lives to just being mothers and being wives. But there was an extra fulfillment that they kind of need because those kids grow and then they leave. And now there's some sort of resentment that, it's staying is like, oh, I thought they will stay with me. So as women, unfortunately, I have to advocate for careers. I am a feminist in the career aspect because they need to do something that they love for the rest of their life. Yes, family is going to be it, but what if your kid, you groom your kids so well to the point that they succeed and now they're off like to other worlds, other countries, They're not there to always check up on you, but they'll always make sure that you have whatever you need. And so that's where I'm coming from. Women do need something towards as they're going off in the older age, but men are also going, hopefully they don't leave the women and they will continue growing with them because it's all about growing with each other. And Proverbs, the third one woman was a builder. Okay, building, relationship building, everything. Like she made sure she had everything, but women don't know how to build anymore. Build a man, should I say?
And
They
think
don't know how
about
to
if
cater to a
Build a
man.
man.
think about if
Okay,
Build.
okay.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Let's
Build a man in whenever he's destroyed, meaning like
uh-huh.
consciousness,
All right,
or should
hold
I
on,
say,
real quick.
yeah.
I do want to get to the super chats. A lot of them piled up. I can't click on this one because it's gone. But shout out to Theo, came through the $20 super chat. He said the Proverbs 31:15. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants.
Yes.
Game changer is correct. Interesting.
Yeah, give me a
All right.
comment.
Yeah. Brazilian women. Oh no, that's Theo again. He says Brazilian women for the win. Passport, everyone. Avoid the West. All right. Let's see. Uh Annette is the one who's not from the West, but she's dropping all the feminist heat on. So that's
I'm a feminist.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They saying avoid the West, but we got a non. I mean, well, okay, well. Oh yeah, that's true. That's right. I forgot. I mean, you were where were you originally from? Not to get all in you. You're from?
I was born in England, but I'm raised by Nigerian parents.
Okay, gotcha.
Westernized. See?
Okay, yeah. No, that's true. I was okay. All right. Real quick.
Though.
Say that again.
I said I cooked and cleaned for my husband, though, so I'm not that westernized.
Yeah,
and you ironed his clothes?
And had my babe. Yes, and iron socks too.
Socks?
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but that's not that. You think I believe in gender roles. I believe that women should be women. Women should be feminine in the home.
That's
but
good.
You guys are reducing feminism to domestic living.
No. Feminism is a fight to get out of the gender roles that you described. Feminism is about fighting for the right to get out of the gender roles that you described.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's about the.
Whoa! Time out. Rewind. You said it's about not getting what?
It's about not being killed by your father just because you refuse to have an arranged marriage. There's a lot going on with women that feminists are fighting for. Excuse me.
It is not, nor has it been. It is not, nor has it ever been about that. But know this. All gender roles has to be enforced somehow. And yes, derelicts of the people who fail to meet the masculine requirement as well as the feminine requirement, shall be punished. What do you think prisons are for, and why do you think that they're full of men? Because the mechanism that enforce masculinity upon men still exists. If you are a derelict male, you will be punished, and up to and including up to. Excuse me.
If you're a criminal, you go to jail. You don't go to jail.
Yes, it is a crime to be a derelict male. It is a crime to steal. It's a crime to use your male gifts in a way that's disruptive to society.
All right. I got to get to the super chats real quick. Dane C in the building says, "Hey BR Jackie, LA, Brenda, GC, Annie wasn't on the panel before at the time of the super chat. He said, I'd like to topic. I suggest another topic since the color purple has been thrown out there. Maybe you can all discuss it. Well, that is starred. Maybe we will discuss the reemergence of color purple. But Dapper Gents in the building with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Captain Cisco in the building. He says black woman 30 plus, too old to be in feminine school. Yeah, good point was made earlier. How all this femininity coaching, it really should be for girls and not grown 30-year-old women with babies on their hip. But anyway, Black Wolf Inc. in the building. What did I just no, he said, ladies, your choices have consequences, and you still don't realize you just fought to be useless. You gain nothing in 50 years of garbage feminism. Thank you, Black Wolf Inc. Snuggles in the building says, with all the choices that people have been given, what have you all noticed that people have the biggest problem with? Oh dang, I did click on that one. Shout out to Theo. Oh no, I didn't click. Okay, he said, "Shout out to Theo. She didn't understand. I think he's talking about that part where Game Changer said something about wanting a penis. That was never mind. It was I don't know. I think he was saying she didn't understand.
No,
Never
he said
mind.
I wanted to have a penis, i.e., I wanted to be a man. It's a metaphor, right? Like I wanted to
Right.
like a
Yeah.
man.
That's what
Yeah,
he. Okay.
that's
Okay. Never mind. Okay. Maybe I didn't understand it. Okay. Theo in the building says Brazilian women for the win. Passport. Everyone avoid the West. I think I read that one already. Detail in the building. He says the way. He says the way their the way their present American work week schedule. Oh, the way. Okay. The way the American present work week schedule is, these women really sincerely are not raising children, it's daycare and grandparents. That is some truth in that, definitely some truth in that. um Michael Pythium in the building, he says the abundance mindset ruined men being able to provide fully for women. A man making 40K a year could buy you a house, just not the house you want. It is a lot of truth in that, a lot of truth in that. The angry snowman in the building says GC is making a valid point. Modern women want the freedom to choose their path while telling a man what his path should be, and then not take accountability for the decisions they made when it don't end up the way they want it. Holy crap. I said, I got four more. Freeman's Journal in the building. He says, why can't a modern woman use the tools of modernity to have more children, cook tastier food, and run a more efficient home? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Cornelius Bellamy in the building. He said, heard this on BGS panel. Women are socialized to be leaders. Women are socialized to be leaders, but their biology won't let them. Okay, I get where you're going now. But their biology won't let them take care of a man. Of man socialization goes against the biology. That is a really good point. They're socializing women to be leaders and make more money and do all of this and do all of that. Well, that doesn't stop those women from wanting a man who still does all those things. And so, yeah, it's almost an unfortunate situation that, like I said, a lot of women in the workforce, they making that money, they doing good. It's like the the ideal match for that woman in many ways is a supportive man that she don't want. A supportive man who's gonna, basically be in the more feminine role, but she don't want that. So it's like, yeah, shout out to Kevin Samuels' wording of it. They're pricing themselves out of the market. But Kiss My Asperger's in the building. He says, although I support feminism, Bernard is correct. Women entering the job market, ending up creating excess labor. Many men lost out on job to women. The RX-O in the building says, if that's the case, men shouldn't have to provide, protect, and support women and children until we die, correct? Are the men what is it? Are the men relieved? Man, okay, I gotta get glasses. I thought, okay, are the men relieved of our duties once we return to our residence? There's more to us than providing and building. Oh, okay, I see what he's saying. He's flipping around what Annette said. He said it's more to us than that. All right, cool. All right, thank you. All right, next time I do it, I'm gonna have somebody else read the damn super chats because I have my eyes are hurting. But but
I got a quick point on time.
All right, go ahead.
One of the things about feminism, I think Brenda brought this up. You give women options. And every man, woman, and child knows this about women and options. When women have options, they waste a lot of time picking through options. But you wind up wasting other people's time while you're picking through options. And people are tired of getting their time wasted while you're figuring out which option fits you best. Feminism turned life into a mall, and women are just walking around shopping and going back and going back and going back. And you want men and children to be sitting there holding the bag like, ready? Does independent fit you? No, the strong fit you? Does education fit you? Does career fit you? Does mama fit you? Like, and you sitting there talking to everybody at the register. I think I look good in this girl, but I don't look good in this girl. If you want to do all that, this is why women go by themselves or go with other girls. That's why guys don't get involved anymore. We like our stuff like Amazon. Give me that, send it, we out of here. We're not finna waste 10, 15 years with y'all trying to figure it out because you're like, oh, I got all the options in the world. Well, What if we got all the other options in the world too with other women, and then you get crazy?
Go get your women. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's stopping you.
Hey, you say that, but the women are stopping us when we. Well, baby, you know what? I got options. I got to go. Hey, hold up now.
No. I think
a lot of key cars in America.
This is where we have a problem, because you think women having choices somehow is actually stopping you from exercising your choices. It doesn't. We are two separate genders. Women want to be women, but women want to be women with choice. Now, the problem is this school of men, and I'm so happy that not all men think this way, but this school of men who think that feminism is a problem, right, think that just because one gender espouses themselves a little bit more power and a little bit more choice, that somehow deflates you. It doesn't. We can both actually exercise good choices. We can both exercise growth together and excel together at the same time. If we all stayed at home, you wouldn't.
I got a quick question.
No.
Hold on, wait. Let's go to Jackie Jack. Hold on. Go ahead.
Female doctors, engineers, and so on and so forth, right? You're saying that we're taking away your job. That's the same argument they used against black people. The blacks are taking our jobs. We shouldn't give blacks jobs.
No. I wasn't making that argument that women are taking away their jobs. I was just running the numbers on population, just the sheer math of it. And I was only looking at it from the perspective of, if a man has a job, if men have jobs and women don't have jobs, men will take care of the women. If women are empowered with more jobs, then that increases the probability that they are now empowered to be strong, independent, and not need a man. So that just more feminism and more women in the workforce means men and women not together, which means more children are being raised not in a proper environment. So I was looking at it from that perspective, not just saying these women taking my job. That wasn't the perspective I was going with it. Go ahead, Jackie Jack.
Okay, my question is, I have a question for Annette. Who do you think makes better? Who do you think makes better decisions, men or women?
I think both parties make pretty good decisions.
Which
yes, Margaret Thatcher made amazing decisions when she was the prime minister, as did the Queen of England makes amazing decisions, as did Barack Obama as a man. You know, it's not a war. Why do we have to?
Wait, hold on, Jackie, hold on, wait, real quick. Jackie Jack was building towards something, so just yeah, both is the answer. Okay, go ahead.
My next question is, who's more logical, men or women?
Both are logical.
So you don't
a female astronaut that went to the moon the other day, that she's not logical?
You're talking about an outlier. I'm talking about the plurality of all women compared to
one of the most logical decisions women make is actually about choosing their mate. Okay, go back to the old times. The women always chose the stronger men. Yeah, they always chose the stronger men. The men that they knew could fight the most. Okay,
are you saying that women?
It's not an emotional decision.
Are you saying that modern Western women make logical choices when they choose the man that they're going to be with?
I'm saying that women are able to make logical choices, and one such logical choice, I'm not saying all women, but one such logical choice that smart women make, right, is who they choose to procreate with or who they choose to marry, because they know how that's going to influence their bloodline. So women are logical. Do you need to stop?
When you threw in the caveat of smart women, yes, I think smart women do make a logical choice in doing that, but most women make an emotional choice when it comes to choosing a particular man. That's why there's a whole market of dating coaches for men, but really what they're teaching is how to tap into that female's emotions. So she's not really making a logical choice. And they criticize the men who are saying that, wait a minute, this guy who's making X amount of dollars, who's not a player, not a playboy. He's a more structured, boring, composed gentleman. Like that really should be the guy. And then they say, no, that doesn't work. You got, and they try to teach you. You gotta have some game, some charm, some charisma. You basically gotta tap into the emotions. It's a whole market out there that basically teaches men how to get into the emotions, because if you come with logic and says, I'm on paper this, you should choose this, they're not going to choose it. They're going to choose the guy that arouses something in them or sparks something in them. That's that's they're not making, modern women are not making logical choices. Logical choices wasn't made for women's when it came to women dating and mating and getting with whoever they were going to get with. Logical choices wasn't being made until since the dad, or you go to a current country or a culture where the dad is picking the husband for the for the woman, for the daughter. That's when a logical choice is made. That's when the man, what guy is showing up saying, this is what I have this property, I have this land, I have this job, I make this much money, I make X amount of dollars. The dad don't care how tall he is, how much swag he got, his stroke game, none of that don't matter. He's making a logical choice for the best outcome for his daughter's future and the future of the kids. The logical choices don't made in female dating and mating until the father is making that choice. Women are operating on emotions. That goes back to Jackie Jack's points about who's more logical. Men on average are more logical. Women on average are more emotional. That's just what it is.
Men are logical.
And that's the point I was trying to make. If you have so many options.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jackie Jack, and I'll see what game changer got this up. Then I'm gonna go to LAR because LAR been waiting for a minute.
I just want to close on my point. My point is women have so many options, but they're not logical enough to pick from those options. You can't give them that many options because they're not equipped to pick the right choice. That's the problem with giving them all those options. They're not logical like
them. You are a woman. Stop calling them them.
Uh-oh. Okay. That's a clap back for you.
I also said women, which I'm a woman. So when I say women, I'm talking about women. Okay, we are not logical. So giving us a whole bunch of options, we're not going to pick that well. We're going to pick off emotions. That's why we go back and forth between do I want to work or not, or do I need to take off today for stress? It's all emotional.
I agree with you, Jackie. I'm not fighting. I'm saying we are emotional.
We are not logical.
No, that's where we are more emotional than men. You 100% correct. But women can also be very logical. I don't want you to think that women cannot be logical. We can. But men are more technical, logical, practical thinkers than we are. You're correct.
Right. So why would you give the less logical group a whole bunch of options? Why would you do that?
Because every group in society deserves to have options.
No, they don't.
Every group in society.
No, they don't.
There's the feelings and emotions come out. This is what I deserve. I feel like I. Okay. All right.
No.
All right. We're going to go to Game Changer. You can respond to that Game Changer and explain. Did you just kiss? You blowing kisses?
Yeah, she has
to go.
Oh man. Okay. Hey, you.
I have to. You want to
both of y'all gotta go. Okay,
I have to take my son to play rugby at 4:30. I've got 28 minutes to get there.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Annette and Brenda. Appreciate y'all coming up. This was wonderful. This was wonderful.
Yes.
I'm putting
and
the link
say
in.
One more thing before I leave.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Putting the. No, go ahead, because you gotta leave. I'll wait for that.
Oh yeah. So this is how I understand where Annette is coming from, and I have to agree with her. Women can be logical, and why it's culture, because I was raised in the the Kenyan tradition, and education is everything, but we were forced to be logical, and well, let's say whenever we came to America, everything kind of confused that logical aspect, but because we're still traditionally, I do think I still think my dad will definitely have to vet the person that I'll marry, etc. it comes down to what kind of women are y'all choosing? Because in my opinion, the women who are more tend to be a little bit more logical and know how to compartmentalize, okay, emotions versus logic, are going to probably be in the STEM area. However, you have nurses, okay? KS don't like nurses, and I totally understand that. And then you have the lawyers because they will argue everything. So it has created a lot of the society has created a lot of turmoil within women. And so now we just don't know what we want. And thanks to everything now, the abundance mindset, as my significant other said about whenever he was doing the super chat, that abundance mindset has totally destroyed women. Like, because we think we can have it all. And my dad keeps on telling me, you cannot do it all. You cannot have it all. And then I'm like, yes, I can. And then he has to like
You
break it
said your
down logically.
significant other said that with a super chat?
Yeah, it's abundance mindset. You can't actually buy a home. Yeah, that's him.
Oh, that's your dude. Okay, shout out to
yeah,
you. Appreciate the super
yeah.
chat.
Right.
So, yeah, no, he's a great supporter of your show and the Manosphere especially. One
Okay.
thing that my dad was always helping me to try to figure out, looking at money. He breaks everything down into like the basis. And so I am privileged to actually have somebody who does that, like my dad, who can help me with that, because all the time I feel like I can do it all. And so whatever it is, I would say for women, listen to a very influential male, any male that is not trying to, what Game Changer says, fuck you trying to be with you. Do not listen to them per se whenever it comes to vetting and trying to get to try to choose the most important things in your life that will alter your life decision. And so whenever it comes to relationship, it's very crucial to know what you want, but you can't get everything that you want. There's sacrifice. And maybe that might be the next topic, but I don't think women do know what sacrifice actually means. So, but that's just me. But yeah, so that's all I have to say. But I have to go. I'll see y'all later. Yeah, I have a brunch that I have to go to for my sister. So
All right,
All right.
Linda. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much, Annie. I definitely appreciate y'all coming on. I put it in the chat. We're having tryouts for a woman who wants to come up and join the panel. Agree or disagree? Prefer disagreement because that just makes the show more fun. But the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. Any woman who wants to come on up and offer some pushback to what's going on, some pushback to the conversation. Game Changer, you was leaning towards something. Shout out to Rod of God down there in the chat room. I did email you the link, Rod, but hold on, wait, damn, what was I trying to do? Okay, now what the hell? Why it look like he like setting up to do the nene on that in that picture?
He very likely is setting up to do the nene, but the reason that I brought up Lil Wayne is because she made a statement that women are wise, and that's why we pick the strongest, greatest protectors. Are the greatest warrior fighting men to procreate with. Yeah, I is that what Lil Wayne is? Because they're in their infinite wisdom as women, that's who they chose to breed with, like what, 7, 8 times by a multitude of different women who could have chosen stronger. Like I don't think that they're making the best decision.
By today's standard, a funny looking multi-millionaire is economically that's not a bad choice. I think the better point.
Okay, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier, and pardon the interruption, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier when I was saying that the economics is for the children, not for themselves. You see, the women who chose to procreate with him and not, assure him as a father, they did it for their own financial gain. They're spending the money, and they decide how much goes they can do like the whole, okay, 90-10. I get 90% of the child support. The children get 10% of the benefit of child support. So they're doing it for themselves, which is why the decision. And she talked about how they were how some women are forced into marriage, or they're punished for not taking the arranged marriage of their fathers. But this is the consequence when you move outside of that range. This is what they will do if you don't do the arranged marriage thing. They're going to say, okay, I'm basically going to have a baby, as long as to the highest bidder, even if the highest bidder don't have the genetic material or anything like that. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that in certain societies, that particular decision is taken away from them because, as is proved in our society, if given that decision, they likely would make it a horrible one.
Yeah. Yeah. And to go back to what she's saying, I think she was like referencing like throughout history, they choose the strongest man and all of that. Listen, if you strip away modern culture, women would just go back to Jackie Jack's point.
History, they weren't choosing.
You said they were not, or
according to her, throughout history, the women were not choosing the men. The fathers were choosing the men. So for her to say that, she's basically taking credit for the choices that they made under patriarchy to justify matriarchy. I mean, according to her, she's saying that the father was always choosing a mate. So if the father chose the strongest boy, in the Viking village, then you should credit the men for that. But she's taking that credit.
Right on. All right, the link in the chat. Somebody want to come up. I'll throw. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This super chat just reminded me of something I wanted to say to Ned. When she was talking about, she said that she wasn't belittling a stay-at-home mom, but
I thought she kind of was. I thought she kind of was. Yeah.
It was. To me, she was belittling a stay-at-home mom. Like, do I have to do this for the rest of my life? It's like you're gonna have a community that you can interact with after your kids are grown. You're gonna have grandkids that you can help raise when they have kids. So it's like it's never ending. She acts like being a stay-at-home mom is you at a point there's nothing for you to do. It's like it's always something for you to do. And then off of this question right here, it's like most of the women don't have serious careers. They have careers like being a teacher. Being a teacher is basically the same thing you would do with your own kids. So they choose jobs that they choose jobs that they could be contributing to their own family or close family knit, extended family. They choose those jobs that you use the same skills you would use if you were just a stay-at-home mom. Like being a teacher, you learn how to teach children. Being a nurse, you're taking care of people. Service positions, like you work in the mall or something, you're providing like customer service. It's like most of these women don't have careers, they just have jobs that use the skills they should be using at home.
All right. I'm just looking at the super chat. You got. I'm going to your next LAR. You said the CNA on the panel. I don't think a CNA was on the panel. Was he like trying to throw a jab, or was Brenda actually a CNA?
I think she's a nurse. Brenda's a nurse.
Yeah, I know she works in the medical field. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, he called her a CNA. The CNA, those are that's certified nursing assistant, where they got to,
she was that. I don't know if she's doing that now.
Yeah, I think the CNAs, all they got the qualifications to do is just clean up, like they wipe asses and they take your blood pressure and they holler for help if it's too high. That's pretty much all they do. They don't really do that. I don't anyway. LAR, go ahead. You was trying to jump in.
There was a point where they was talking about women being illogical. Well, I think women are very logical. I think logically they know that if they stop doing it, a man's gonna get it done, so they can quit at any time. So that's normally how things go, because as Annette was saying, it's not a war against men and women, but a little deeper than that, it's a war against time. The difference is women are probably more illogical with the concept of time being finite. And for families having to pick, pick people back in the day, they picked because you would have wasted too much time and your life wouldn't have went in a positive direction because you would have went all over the place. You see this in current society with feminism. Women in high school, they want to be one thing. They go to college to be another thing. They start working as adults to be something else. And then they hit a certain point and they say, I quit all of that stuff because that's not what I want anymore. And I just, and logically speaking, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find a man to pay for all of this stuff. The same man I didn't want to went to school to not be with, the same one I got a career to, he doesn't have to control me financially. And now all of a sudden, Lil Wayne, where you at? Could somebody knock me up so I can get $47,000 a month in child support because I just want to be a stay-at-home mom now? So it people look at it like it's just basic hypocrisy. I want to be a masculine, feminine, Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, Lil Nas X, Keisha, Lil Wayne / Nicki Minaj until Instagram model, until I'm too old to do this anymore and now I just want to be a homemaker. And it's like, no, sorry, you jumped off the porch. You're gone. And I hate to tell you ladies this, but y'all need to stop blaming all this on men. Because we ain't the ones in your head. Y'all be making up that we in your head telling y'all to do this stupid stuff. And then when you go all the way, if you you dive into the ocean in chum in the middle of sharks and say, it's this man's fault that these sharks are about to eat me. We not doing this to y'all. But I quit. I digress.
All right. We got somebody new on the panel. I think that's Eso Hopeful. I think that's your name. I think I got that. I got that right. What's going on? What you got?
Hey man, y'all been saying a lot of stuff. I was a little late to talk to the lady that left, but I was agreeing with her a lot more than I was disagreeing. I don't think the problem is women having more choices or having more options. Women, entering the workforce, any of that, because like we already know, on this side of the hemisphere, it's more women than it is men. We know, like, in China and India, of course, the problems they were having with deleting women. If it was a girl, then they would delete it. And so that is actually causing more harm than good on that side. On this side, we have more women than it is men. And so women having options is going to be, of course, something that you want to have. Because if every man got married, then there would be women left over. And what are they supposed to do? So I think
I'm trying to figure out why does that point matter, that if every man got married, there would be women left over, or even there being more women than men. I don't really make a connection how that has anything to do with anything. I mean, it's like they're like 51% of the population. Like, that does amount to a lot of people, but you don't feel the pinch or notice of that. Like, it would have to be to the point where it's like it would have to be like 60-40 before it's really a big thing. Like, that's not a big deal. 51-49. That could be a factor of a number of things. Some men die more from violent deaths than women, and women live longer, so men die sooner. So the population is just going to be just an imbalance. But I don't think that's not a big deal. Or maybe you can explain why it's a big deal that there's more women than men.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is pretty much that if those women you're speaking on, the ones taking the snake oil, if they are the ones that you don't want to be with anyway, then what they do, how does that matter? how does that affect you? If by that rationale,
do you think this
Okay,
whole
okay.
conversation is about what personally affects me? I thought we were having a broader
no,
conversation.
I'm saying broad conversation. Yeah, of course, that's what I'm
Well,
saying.
here,
In
I
general,
would like to I would like to debunk the whole women in men in the numbers thing, because that's that's really a red herring. It's really just meant to throw you off the scent. Like if I was to
Yeah.
say, if I was to throw a concert and say, okay, this concert hall or this stadium seats 50,000 people, and somebody was to say, oh yeah, but it's 51,000 of us. That should only matter if the show is sold out. Now, the black community, and really in the West, it's not sold out. It's not a situation where, all the men are married and there's 1,000 leftover women. What do we do about that? So to say it's uneven is ridiculous. Now, I do want to also point out, sir, that um, there's way more fertile men on the mating and dating market than there are fertile women on the dating and mating market. See, the infertile don't really count because they're not capable and equipped to set up families. Therefore, at any given moment, the number of families is limited by the number of fertile women. Therefore, it's really more available men than women.
Damn. I never thought of it that way.
You
Go ahead, LAR.
Okay, but I hear what you're saying, fam. But here's the thing: I could go, aha. There are brothers who have your similar mindset. Who you're right. They may see femininity as selling snake oil because those are the type of brothers who've been selling snake oil that they'll actually be down for these women. Because these type of women who need femininity, guys have been living off of those type of women. So that becomes a problem. And guys who don't who see that as a problem, and women who actually see that as a problem, turn that to the wrong guys. And guys get sick of going, listen, she told you you need to be more feminine. He told you you can still be a feminist, but you kept paying for dinner. And now you
Hmm.
mad at all men. That's how it comes off to society. So it makes a bigger rift between men, women, and other men. And then you have
so
this big separation.
you see it as snake oil, or you saying that femininity is something that women should have?
I'm saying femininity is something that women should have. But the problem is there are men and women who don't want women to be feminine because they're living off of these quote unquote masculine energy women.
Mm-hmm.
They are by proxy, they're like, listen, baby, be as manly as you can be because I need you to pay the rent on Monday. And those women, after a certain point, they get burnt out and then they hate all men or a lot of men and they hate most women and they say the world is this, that, and the third. And guys are looking back like, listen, man, we told y'all it was a bad move to go down that road that you were strong and independent, you can do everything, because they sent you on a wild goose chase. Because while you were working, there's a lot of stay at home side dudes, stay at home stud side chicks running around here playing like, go girl, go get them. You know what I'm saying? Go get that promotion, please, because I need a new iPhone.
Yeah,
That
but I guess I'm on the same almost page, but I feel like you can't sell femininity like that. When they say snake oil, it's like you selling a cure. That's what they mean. Like, that can't be sold. Like, oh, I got the cure for everything. Here's some snake oil. You get what I'm saying? Femininity is not the cure for all women to now you can go get a man because you're feminine. You get what I'm saying?
it has nothing to do with a man, though. That's the thing. These women weren't taught to be feminine as little girls. You wasn't teach, you don't teach your daughter to be feminine at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because you're trying to push her off to a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old boy at the time. You're teaching her to grow and be a lady. Sometimes, the same way you teach your son, like, listen, I'm not teaching you to be, I'm grooming you to be a man. And of course, the other gender is going to benefit off of that. But I'm not teaching you to be a man only for the sole purpose of you supposed to be a man when women show up. You got to be a man all day long.
That's what I'm saying. You can't, it's not a turn on, turn off type of thing. It's not something you can have and not have. It's something you're born with, right?
No, it's not something you're born with. It's something you taught. Look, man, watch this. You got dreads, right? I was born with hair. You see it anymore? No, you don't. Right? You get my point? Or don't you get my point?
Nah, go ahead.
My point is we were both born with something, but that don't mean we keep it. Just because you're born a gender, but people got to teach you what to do. People got to teach you what to do. And people have been derelict in teaching young Black women in particular, Black girls, to be feminine. They've been teaching little girls to be little boys. And they're horrible at being boys, which means they're horrible at trying to be men, and which means they're double horrible at trying to be women. So now we're walking around with these little young MAs in dresses and Jordans, not understanding that this looks crazy.
Yeah, but see, gender, like you were saying, you are not conforming to whatever gender is something that you choose. Like you can choose to cut your hair off. You know what I mean? Those are choices that every man has. And just like the wording that you use, you get what I'm saying? It's certain things that you're taught early on, and that's go back to nature versus nurture, where you say things like you would call them dreads, say for instance, right? And so when I hear things like that, it's like, okay, I understand that some people are taught certain things, not realizing what they're taught.
Got you. But here's the thing about conforming. You ever watch The Last Dragon?
Yeah.
Bruce Leroy was still Black. He was just trying to be Asian. He was never not Black. Even the Asian people didn't see him as Asian. This, you are what you are. You don't go to the zoo and say, "Oh, that's a lion," and the lion says, I do not conform to that lion thing. Today, I am a gazelle." We're the only people doing that type of stuff. I'm about to get a dog. I'm about to get a Doberman Pinscher. My Doberman ain't gonna say, "Look, I conform to be a pit bull now." Okay.
No, a lion raised in captivity is different than a wild lion. You get what I'm saying?
Walk your ass in the cage with that lion in captivity. You're still gonna get mauled.
Not the same as in the wild. But that's what I'm saying. It's certain things that you would expect, right? Because it's a lion, you're gonna get mauled, is what you would think.
Right.
But hold on, but that's LAR's point. That lion was still born a lion. He just lost some of his lion ability from growing up in captivity. But it's still a lion in there.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Nature versus nurture. You could be brought up as a house kitten, but if you're a lion, you know what I'm saying? Like, then you're gonna still do lion thing. You still are capable of doing those things, no matter if you lose them or if you're not taught how to use them.
Okay.
But
it sounds like y'all agreeing.
Right.
Yeah, I think we could do.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I wouldn't be foolish enough to say that lion was in captivity. Let me just go ahead over this gate real quick.
Right. No, that's why.
Come here. Because I know when you know. That's the thing about.
If it's in a woman's nature to be feminine, right?
Okay.
And this is what I'm saying. That's something that they're trying to sell to women is, oh, this is how you be, feminine, and this is how you know what I mean? Like, and if that's not in them, if they weren't brought up like that, they were brought up as wild lions. You get what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Okay. They were brought up in the cage, however you want it, whichever analogy you want to use. If that's how they were brought up, at some point they have to be, you're saying, taught that by someone else, that someone can teach them to be feminine.
to some degree, hold on, wait. To some
example.
degree, I'll say this. To some degree, it can be late, and that's kind of the point why we said it need to be taught to girls. If anything, trying to teach a woman when she's 30 with a baby on her hip, okay, now it's time to be feminine. Like that's goofy. That's again, you're trying to take that lion that was born in captivity. You're trying to throw him out in the wild. You ain't go hunting zebras as good. So even though he's still a lion, he's still not going to hunt zebras as good. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. You might get a kill here and there.
My bad. Here's the thing. It's 5 black men on the panel right now. Most of us know this experience. When you were a child, your family might have said you were smart. You got all the way to school, kindergarten and up. And because you were a black male, teachers tried to dumb you down to the point that some people quit showing that they were smart in school. They were smart already, but they got dumbed down by the time it was time to graduate or go to college. They got the "I'm not raising my hand no more" syndrome. You know what? I think my answer's right, but it's wrong syndrome. Somebody had to teach them to not believe in their own intellect. A lot of us got nurtured into being stupid. That's the same way women got nurtured into being less feminine. Somebody taught them to be less feminine. Yeah, they might have been born female and feminine by nature, but they were taught in the homes not to be feminine. So what we get is the remnants of that.
All right. Slay your perspectives. You saying, can y'all bring me on here? I put the link in the chat. Anybody could come up and take the link at this point. So yeah, if you want to
have a great
come
perspective as a woman who was conditioned,
definitely come. What the hell?
Modern woman mindset, and I had to learn.
You know, you reading out loud, right?
I don't think she that's a woman that's going to come up, or nah, she ain't coming up.
Yeah, that was a woman. I think he thought he was reading in his head, but all right, but slay your perspective. You can you definitely come up. The link is in the chat. I just put it right there in the chat. But all right, I'm gonna pass it to Obsidian. Obsidian, are femininity coaches, are they selling snake oil?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday, TGIF and all that.
What up?
And I've been tuning in while I was, putting around the house. Interesting discussion. That's a good question. Are femininity coaches selling snake oil? That's a very good question. I don't know. I haven't studied the field enough to be able to say one way or the other. And I await the findings of some enterprising individual that can take the time out to really study it, because I think it's a fair question. I think it's a very fair question. I honestly don't know.
All right, what part of the discussion, I guess, prompted you to come up?
Yeah, the point about both Game Changer and LAR made some interesting points about the nature of, they were speaking to feminism. Feminism, of course, is an outgrowth of the Western world, predicated on values of, freedom of choice, protection of minority rights, protection of the right of the individual, and so on. Another major Western value is, like I said, freedom of choice, is also voluntary association. So I guess the question I would have for everybody is, is it possible to simply self-select and find, the mate that's best for you, whatever configuration that is? If that's, modern women, or more traditional women, or modern men, more traditional men, whatever. Is it possible to just simply self-select?
Of course.
Well, Obsidian, that goes back to the question that the brother below was asking, underneath me was asking, and it's really not about individual. It's not an individual problem. It's a cultural problem. We're talking about feminism not as it relates to a man's mating selection, but as it affects the women's life quality.
Yeah, but culture is made up by, maintained by, and I guess you could say practiced or enforced by individuals. Cultures speak to collectives. Collectives are made up of individuals, and quality of life is an individual measure. It can be measured in groups. That's true, but it ultimately it breaks down to the individual. And if we're talking about feminism, and feminism is an outgrowth of the Western world, then um one of the big selling points of the Western world and of feminism itself is individual choice, because the Western world recognizes the right of the individual.
Yeah, to some degree, Obsidian. That hold on, wait, real quick. To some degree, Obsidian, that changes or just redirects the topic. Like far as making a personal individual choice, yes, I'm with a woman. I made a personal individual choice to be with a woman that suits me, even though she came out of the same environment that we're talking about. She's one of the ones on the spectrum of on the bell curve that falls, right in line with what I like, what I prefer. So if we're just talking about individual mate choice and finding the mate that's suitable for you, I mean that's kind of a separate topic. I mean that I don't want to just say that part is the easy part, because I understand that's difficult for a lot of people given the environment and everything. But
Well, what's difficult?
that's sort of a
What
different
about
thing.
the environment is so difficult to make that self selection choice? I'm
I'm
just
not no, it wasn't about self. Okay.
I'm just curious about what is it about the environment that makes it so difficult?
If you want a more feminine woman,
Hmm.
but we're in an environment that calls for women to do what men more traditionally did, what
Hmm.
men more traditionally have done, that's going to increase the probability that there will be less feminine, more masculine women. Not to mention that part of the cultural and social engineering that's being pushed. I mean, they're being pushed and told that they could be leaders, they could be this, they could be that. I am woman, hear me roar. So that's just going to increase the probability that if you're a man who wants a softer, feminine, more delicate woman, that there's going to be less of that in the environment. It's not going to be as much of a target rich environment. That doesn't mean you can't go out and individually get whatever it is that you're looking for. It just may be a little harder to find. You got to get more selective with your choices and so forth and so on. But again, that's sort of a separate issue. But the environment, yeah, it's a change in the environment. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious. I'm curious, Obsidian. Are you saying that it's easy? Are you asking
Mating,
if you think it's easy?
mating by definition is not easy.
So when you
No, I
ask,
wouldn't say that.
well, so you asked what made it so difficult, knowing the answer.
Well, I didn't know the answer. That's why I asked the question.
Well, you just answered the question. You just answered the question by when you say mating by definition is difficult.
But he said the environment makes it more difficult. And I just wanted to
No, no,
understand
no.
this.
What I'm saying
I
is
just wanted to understand. I
you're
just wanted to
asking
understand. I
you're
just wanted to
asking this
understand his
question that you
position,
know
game
the answer
changer.
to.
I just wanted to understand his position, game changer. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the issue winds up being you have people making decisions when they're actually going through a phase and they think that's where they actually are for the rest of their life. So yeah, you can make choice and you have options, but you have people going, "This is who I am," and then a year later go, "No, I'm not that anymore. I'm this," and
Mhm.
somebody else is holding the bag because their choice wasn't actually rooted in something that was actually that they were something they were actually committed to in the first place.
So the issue you're bringing up now is one of transience. As a transient, and it's true. The Western world does see a high incidence of divorce, of breakup. We have fewer people marrying. All true. Does feminism play a role with that? It does. I debate to what extent it does, but it's no doubt, no denying that it does play a role. Um, Not really sure what to do about that. I mean, we live in a modern consent, free consent society, and I'm not
Yeah.
sure what I mean. Falling outside of voluntary association, if there are women who voluntarily choose to be more homebound and domestic and feminine in that sense, that's one thing. Okay. But failing that, I'm not sure exactly what to do about that.
All right, Jay Slay. I'm gonna try and see if you can get that together.
Well,
Say
I can
something. Mic
respond.
check, real quick. Hold on,
Can
wait.
you
I want
guys
to
hear
speak.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. So I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm sorry. Hi guys. I think
Hello.
the show has been pretty great, and it's very interesting. But I just wanted to give a perspective as a woman who actually grew up with the modern woman as a mother, and how that mindset transitioned over for me. My family, actually, I am first generation. My family comes from Dakar, Senegal, as well as Cape Verde, and
Oh, hey.
Okay, so what the hell was that? Um,
Well,
uh, go
while
ahead,
she
Game
gets
Changer.
everything together, yeah, while she gets everything together, I want to respond to Obsidians. I think that the solution will be, like you say, it's the individuals, and individuals to take dictate the culture. So I think that we should get enough individual females to renounce feminism, and that will cause a chain of events that will change the cultural dynamic of the West to one that benefits both men and women, as it did in the past.
Well, then the question that becomes one of incentives. So the
I was
question
gonna
now becomes. So the question now becomes: do black women in today's world seek and get benefits from feminism? And if so, what would be the counter benefits that those that hold your view, Game Changer, could offer that could beat the benefits that these black women are currently receiving from a feminist model?
Right. So I think that that's what we spent the majority of the conversation talking about. That there are benefits of traditionalism, including healthy families, is the primary benefit of traditionalism. However, women's definition of benefit has changed. Like modern women believe that benefiting is, receiving material goods, and that's a construct of modern society. Once they realize that the true benefit of womanhood is family, a healthy family, then that is once again the beginning of the change, because that is the benefit that's offered through a non-feminist society.
Well, let me go to LAR on that one. What do you think? Is because the Game Changer laid out that when it comes to the benefits of traditionalism, he said the benefit is the family, is the more efficient, stable, productive family. That's the benefit of it. They're looking at it as they're looking at it from, I guess, from a more of a what short term benefits could they garner, like, so what the hell? Oh no, Game Changer just left. I'm sitting there looking, trying to figure out who just dropped off the panel. But yeah, speak on that. The whole idea that they don't look at it as, whereas they don't look at it as the benefit is the family, is the functional, stable family.
Hmm.
In practical application, it looks like the benefit of feminism is to be wild and free. And the problem with being wild and free is it ain't free. And what winds up happening is when the debt becomes so bad, then they go on the opposite end of the spectrum and want to be traditional because that has stability. Now, feminism does the the idea of being wild and free is kind of childish because it basically comes off like when you have children who say they grown and they want to leave, but then they leave the house and but now they in your refrigerator. You know, it's that. So it's the benefit is to act like I don't need nobody and then to come back and say I need somebody. But the problem along with that is it burns bridges on both ends.
Mm.
So that like after a while nobody looks at it as beneficial to anyone because everybody else is left to pick up the pieces. Feminists have never actually picked up the pieces from the debris that was left. All the collateral damage of feminism, that was for men to clean up.
Yeah, I don't
So
think it's done yet.
So, what'd you say?
I said, he said it is left for men to clean up. I said I don't think it's done yet. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think what's done yet?
The damage isn't even done yet. Like we still, getting to the point where, you know, what they call a gender war, like people want to be a different gender than they are born as.
That's not gender war.
I was about to say I'm not aware of that being part of a
that's
gender.
not when you say the damage is not done yet. When you first came up, you were advocating for more modern things, but now it sounds like you're saying the it's going to cause damage. So
Yeah,
I'm trying to.
It's definitely going to be damaged, backlash, all that. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think so. I thought that you disagreed. I thought you were saying that I forgot what you said when you came on, but it
my
sounded
whole
like there was
thing
something
when I
different.
came on, pretty much
Like you changed your mind midway through the stream. I see. That's fine.
no, it's still the same thing. It's okay. Yeah, the damage is not done, but at the same time, if you're not in the what's it called, the blast radius, you know, if you're not nowhere near that, then how does it affect you? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, this isn't a how does it affect you argument. That is, I always view that as a derailment or deflection argument whenever somebody is going to how does it affect you. Like people can talk about problems, you know, you can have your micro and what you do and how you individually navigate through the world, through the environment, but you can still step back and look at it from a large sociological perspective and break down what's going on in the world. Like people have been doing that for, you know, ever since recorded history. So the how does it affect you argument is just a spinoff of just shut up. Like that's what I hear whenever I hear somebody say the how does this affect you?
What's
You
the
know, that's
blast?
the thing
I'm not saying
about
What's the blast radius of a cultural problem?
Right.
That's a new one. Like what's the blast radius? Like I think that being in the West and being pretty much anywhere is in the blast radius. That's like, you know, global warming. Oh well, if you're not in the blast radius of global warming, then how does it affect? Well, it's you're on the planet. Like, what's the blast radius? That's a new one to me.
Well, there are people who have that ideology, but the interesting thing about it is, and I'm gonna use it as an analogy. What happens when the stuff that you need got blown up in that blast? That's what normally happens.
You're gonna have to adapt.
People can't survive. That's the thing. So we're assuming that just because you have to adapt, that you're capable of adapting when you need to.
Very good point. Very good point. As a matter of fact, I didn't bring it up, but I'm thinking about the blast radius in relation to the cultural piece. I would venture an answer this way, Game Changer. We know in Black America now, we know the most educated among us tend to be the most married. We know that. We know that the least married among us tend to be the least educated as a general rule. Okay. I would venture to say the blast radius has affected the least educated in Black America the most. And this parallels with work from people like, for example, Charles Murray, coming apart. Although he's addressing white Americans, the same thing that he's talking about is applicable here with regard to Black Americans, that it's a fact that the more education, for example, let's talk about women, and education is definitely, you know, the college campus and so forth, is definitely a flashpoint in the feminism piece. The more education Black women have, the more likely they are to get married. That's a fact. The less likely, the less education she has, the less likely she is to get married. That's a fact. So I think that the blast radius argument definitely applies in this case. I think the more educated you are, the less likely you are to get hit with the negatives or downsides of a modern Western world, of which feminism, progressive ideas, and being woke and so forth are definitely part of.
Yeah, it
Well,
sounds like what you're
talking about
go
a
ahead.
cultural problem, when you're talking about a cultural problem, it affects the decisions of the individual. So I think that you're working under the assumption that the women um, don't want to get blasted. You see, I understand what you're saying, but it's a willingness issue. Like, so you're saying that a woman is more likely to become married if she gets educated, which I don't necessarily agree with, you know. But I will say that it's a matter of a woman's willingness and desire to get married in the first place, not the availability of men to marry.
Well, I didn't say anything about availability of men, nor did I say anything about willingness. I just merely noted the fact. And nor did I say that education causes marriage. I didn't say that. I just merely noted the fact that education levels correlate with marital rates in the black community. That's a fact.
But aren't black women more educated
and less married?
Going down? Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
Aren't black women becoming more and more educated and marriage is going down?
No. What I said was, we know when we look at educational rates that the more educated the people are, the more likely they are to get married and stay married, where marriages has really dropped off, both white and black. That's why I mentioned Murray. Both white and black is for the less educated. Murray talks about this at great length in his book, Coming Apart. He's not the only one. There have been numerous sociologists, scholars, researchers, etc., who have noted this and documented this as well in more recent times. So what I'm simply saying is, for whatever the reason, I'm not saying that education causes it or doesn't cause it. I'm just simply making a point that we know that the more educated women are, the more likely they are to get married and stay married. We know that's true.
Okay, so
compared to their less educated sisters who either don't get married at all or they do and have very high divorce rates. We know that the divorce rate among the upper middle class is about 20%. The divorce rate among the working class is like 3 times that.
Could you give us the links? I do want to check out the links for. Wait, hold on. Wait, are we going to go to LAR? But I do want to check out the links for people more educated being more married. I mean, I do see how that's
more educated. Yeah, I like to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, I do see how that's possible. I think smarter people tend to make wiser choices, and having the college degree is correlated with your intelligence. So yeah, intelligent people tend to make wiser choices. So I do understand that aspect of it, but I do want the data. I do want to see the data and the links for that. Go ahead, LAR.
I do too. But may I say this before LAR, right quick, please? Ladies, instead of getting degrees, get sandwiches. That'll get you married quicker. Go for
it. You gonna make me cough, man. I might be reaching, so I might get a whistle or flag on this one, but I get exactly what Obsidian is saying, because that's been the statistics for years. But I think boots on the ground with black educated women, it's more like a marriage Moynihan scissors, where it's going in the opposite direction of how it's supposed to be going. Because I see more educated women who avoid marriage now. That might take a few years for people to get the numbers on it, but they seem to be avoiding that until that student loan balloons to a point that they need some help. So,
and are we talking first time marriage? This is another really important data point. Are we talking first time marriage or second time, etc. marriage? That's a very important point here.
Well, the thing about that is, and I hate to say it this way, it can go the same way with education, because there are a lot of people who actually didn't graduate in the age group they were supposed to. So there are a lot of educated people who got educated at 25, 28, 32, 35. So it kind of, all of this stuff together kind of muddies the waters.
Well, what's interesting about it is that there is a sorting taking place, right? So you do have black women in college who don't wind up getting married. Okay, so let's take a step back and look at non-black women. So white, Jewish, Asian, so forth. The way they tend to get their, matter of fact, they even call it getting your Mrs. degree. What happens, they go to college and at some point, be that deliberate or be that osmosis, however it happens, somewhere between undergrad and grad school, they meet their husband. Somewhere in there, right? And they either get married during their time in school, or shortly thereafter. Now comparing that to black women, yes, there's a higher percentage of black women who, for whatever reason, don't find their guy in school, in undergrad, grad school. That's true. That being said, however, the point is still made. When you compare educated black women to non-educated black women, the educated black women have a higher marital rate and stay married longer than the non-educated black women.
I'm waiting on the links for that.
But
I'm looking
that's
at, hold on, wait, real quick. I'm looking right now from what I'm seeing that yes, people who graduate college, they get married at a higher rate. I mean, I'm reading right here. Men and women who did not complete high school were less likely to marry than were men and women with more education. I am seeing that, like comparing people who didn't finish high school to people who had post high school education. I am seeing that. I've been waiting on the. I mean, I'm gonna just ask. Do you have the link for what you're saying?
I can give you the book citation. It's called Coming Apart. I'm pulling it up right now on Amazon. Now I'll post a link for you. It's called
I,
Coming Apart: The State of White America. He talks about the college sorting machine.
In
And
that book, did they give a like in the bibliography? Could you do that?
pardon?
I said in the bibliography, could you show where it cites like where the book got its statistics from? I guess that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I don't have
Yeah.
the book in front of me right now, but I just cited the link. Anybody that wants to get it can grab it. He talks about
I
this
think
extensively in a chapter called The College Sorting Machine.
I think we left out something with
Yeah.
Go
this.
ahead.
It wasn't that it was a year, 2 years ago, where they had an article about black women who were in college age, and how the percentage bumped up to like a quarter of them actually being lesbians or bisexual.
Hmm?
I'm not aware of any such
Yeah,
data.
it,
I
it,
think it's
it was
interesting, but I'm not
it
aware of
was
it.
an article that happened had to be a year, 2 years ago, but there were more college age women, from 18 to like 22 to 25, who admitted that they were either bi or lesbian now. So that adds to less people getting married, unless you counting those women getting married to other women. It was I had to find one of the articles to send it to y'all, but it was a while ago. It was
All
excuse me.
right. The masculinist. Welcome to the show. What do you got on the topic? Are you coming on the current topic that we on, or the title topic? Which one you trying to speak on? Oh, come on, bruh. All right, he gone. He
But no,
gone.
I don't want to lead with the impression that education is the solution for Black women to get married because as Obsidian described, it's a willingness issue, it's a cultural issue. The other cultures of women are going to university to find husbands. Black women are going to universities to find student loan checks. So it's completely different cultures. It's so as far as the blast radius thing is, you're still in that culture, and it's the culture that's dysfunctional. So you're not outside of the blast radius because you go to university. I know because I've been
And
to university.
right. So again, we're back to how do we square this circle? Your suggestion was to convince more black women to have families. My response was to say, well, what are the incentives? Your response was the family is the incentive. It should sell itself, more or less. And I'm not seeing much evidence that that's being the case. Matter of fact, there's more evidence against it. We have to keep in mind Jessica Mormon out of Wayne State University's research about being strategically single. So,
Okay, so yeah, that is a problem. Once again, if the culture is the problem, then the solution is to change the culture. So if the culture is unwilling to change, then the solution would be to find another or create another.
okay. So that comes back down again to individuals, does it not?
I never stated that it didn't. Yeah, I mean, I stated before, in fact, that it is individual things, and the solution is to change the hearts and minds of the individuals.
Yeah. So it would seem to me that for the black men who are concerned about this matter,
Hmm.
one surefire way you can do that is to go and find you a woman of like mind and start creating your own little culture and community right under your own roof.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. In addition to the original solution being, change the culture that we live in, which means change the hearts and minds of people other than the individuals that you well are. It would also be a solution for individuals to create a culture within that. However, no matter where you go, there you are. So.
Yeah, there's a really good book. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'll pull it up on Amazon. It's called The Big Sort. Can't remember the author's name, but he talks about the power of people getting together. Bill Bishop is his name. The Big Sort talks about how Americans are increasingly clustering regarding like-minded people. Kind of reminds me of Little Big Nate's take on this clustering of like-minded people, and he argues that it's a bad thing for America. But I understand his argument, but I'm not so sure I agree with it, because I think that in this instance it can be actually a good thing for more black people of like mind to simply link up. Once they got their own act together, you get with somebody else of like mind, and y'all that's how communities are formed.
So in addition to that solution, I also suggest changing the minds of those who are open to change.
Yeah, but see,
and using media platforms to speak to that, to use a bullhorn in addition to making your personal decisions in your personal life. Use your what do you call it? Use your megaphone to speak to what you think makes sense culturally, and not just say, "Hey, I'm just going to walk over here and do my individual thing with my individual society under my roof." No, I'm going to speak to what I think makes sense on a larger scale.
Exactly.
But wouldn't you be speaking to the choir though? I mean, that's self-selection at work again. And as a matter of fact, studies have shown this with regard to social media, entertainment, and so going back to Bill Bishop's argument that
wait a minute. I want to back up
what they want to deal with. Fox versus CNN and so forth.
Wait a minute. How would that be speaking to the choir? I mean, you are one of the biggest advocates and
yeah, but people, I'm speaking about men like me though.
Rooting. I
right,
know. No. Wait. No. You don't even know what I'm about to say. When it comes to someone like Kevin Samuels, at one point he was small and speaking to the choir.
Right.
Eventually, his choir became the whole damn world. So he's changing hearts. I'm sorry. What?
Actually, that's not true.
Okay, if the choir got big, really damn big, I think we can agree on that. So the fact of the matter is, yes, someone who had his ideas that, yes, he could have just went off in his personal life and just did that, but he created a media platform and then and spoke his mind, got his ideas out there, and now there's lots of people, thousands of people showing up every night to hear what he's saying, and we can assume that hearts and minds and thoughts and perspectives and views are being changed, and there's evidence of that with all the other media platforms that are sprouting up out of nowhere, echoing what he's saying. So I find it odd that you.
Or could it be a?
Hold on, wait, real quick. I want to. Yes, but somebody put out the messaging, and somebody heard that message who once had a different perspective, heard his perspective, and said, I want to self-select over there. So I'm just confused about how somebody who came to the internet I don't. You have a social media platform where you put your views, thoughts, ideas, and perspectives out.
Mind.
I know, but at the same time,
since you want to use me as an example, then you hop back over to Kevin, then you hop back over to me. So since you want to use me as an example, I'll use you. You ran into me 4 years ago here online.
Mm-hmm.
And you felt the exact same way that I did. And you said to yourself, I know I'm not alone now because someone else that feels as I do. I'm sorting for people like me. I'm not looking to convert people or change people's minds. I'm looking for people of like mind. What I'm saying to you, and you bring up Kevin Samuels, and I mentioned Bill Bishop, the big sort. What's going on here is that people are self-selecting, not so much having their minds changed, but they're finding people of like mind that they didn't know existed before.
I don't think
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing, but I don't think as many people had thoughts, ideas, and perspectives that lined up similar to the things that we talk about in this space until they saw it on a major major platform that's getting millions of views, I do think hearts and minds were changed for every person like me who was already kind of on this spectrum and then came online and then found out, oh dang, it's other people, speaking the way that I was thinking. For every one of those, there's somebody who was not really thinking this way, but they heard somebody saying it, and maybe they had some little internal struggle and back and forth, and then maybe after over time, their other positions were defeated to the point to where they adopted a new view, a new perspective. I mean, I'm somebody who's going from essentially liberal to conservative. I'm somebody who's going from Christian to agnostic. I'll use the agnostic word because the other A word is, people don't like to hear that one. So somebody who went from Christian to agnostic, my mind has been changed by people who put out ideas, views, thoughts, and perspectives, or wrote books, or so I don't understand why it's almost as if you're undercutting a movement, saying, just almost like you're saying, hey, just go talk over there in the corner, or just keep it small, talking to the few people that agree with you.
I didn't say anything about keeping anything small. Moreover, as far as Kevin is concerned, he has himself said he's not looking for everybody. He only needs 10%. He said that.
From one aspect of what he does, he's talking about 10%, but overall, he's talking to everybody. Either he said he went from 10% to saying 20%, or guys who want to be in the top 20%. So he figured out a way to include everybody. When your platform get that big, you're talking to everybody.
And as a matter of fact, when he specifically focused on black men rejected his message. It was only after he started talking to black women that his message started to really catch on. Black men didn't want to be bothered with him when he only focused on black men for 3 years straight.
I think his channel, anyway, all right, I'm not even trying to go down that rabbit hole. I think his channel did good views in proportion with the size of his channel. But all right, let's move on. Somebody come save us. Anybody got anything?
Well, for one, I put this stuff in a private chat about what I said earlier, but pertaining to what you just said about changing your mind pertaining to the topic, what happens in society is you gravitate to like-minded people, but the people who've changed their minds, can they be changed to something else also? Because what seems to happen is you changed my mind to go this way, but that same person is looking for somebody else to change their mind and go in another direction also. They're not actually staying there. So the same thing with the topic of the femininity and everything else, what I was saying earlier about phases. It's a difference between evolving and just looking for a new train to ride. And more of society is just hopping from one train to the next as a new experience. They're actually not, trying to be there for the long haul. So my bad.
No, I definitely I see what you're saying when you're saying a lot of people are just searching for or hopping for a new train to ride. Like there people are fickle like that. Like one person whose mind was changed on something at one point, talk to them 6 months later, they probably singing a different tune, and talk to them 6 months after that, they probably think, singing a whole nother tune. That does happen with a lot of people. I mean, the term sheeple exists for a reason. They may find a new cult of personality to follow and then just echo all of his sentiments. A lot of people, they do accuse people that follow Kevin Samuels of essentially doing that. So I do understand what you're saying right there. Shout out to MVP in the building. He says, peace to the panel. I'm a little behind, but LAR's mall analogy was fired. He says, just subbed, good show as always, Bernard. Hey, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate everybody who's been super chatting. Nick Penn says, if logic worked, all the geeks would be getting the most beautiful women. They throwing it back to Annette's statement when she said women use logic in making a choice. Everybody responded to Annette. Shout out to Annette. She definitely brings entertainment to the show. But Ryan Decipher the building, he says to Annette, women make logical choices when choosing a mate. Me, the black community, would like to have a word with you, ma'am. Right on. There, I said it in the building. He says biological limitations of women-proof feminist goals are not natural and contrary to divine design and evil. look at the outcome. Look at the outcome. Shout out to you, the angry snowman in the building. He says natural order is called natural order for a reason, because it's what is required for a natural balance. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Asada Muhammad says, if a woman wasn't taught femininity as a young girl, she will hit and miss with it as a woman. Femininity is ingrained and can't be purchased. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. LAR struggle streaming on us over there. Nice sometimes says, connected with a black woman on Bumble yesterday. She claimed in her profile to be highly educated and independent, but we decision meeting up tonight. I unmatched her when she asked if I would be finding her has to drive to our date. What? If I would be, I think finding her has to drive to the date. All right, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, but
I am curious if he could like put that at me.
Yeah. Make that different and at game changer so he'll see it. But MVP, I think I already read that one. All right, we are almost closing in at the 3-hour mark. I do bare minimum want LAR to come up for some last words at least. I do want LAR to make it up for some last words at least. I know a lot of people sent some super chats that I forgot about. But had an interesting show today. I had a secondary question that we may just have to tackle later on another stream. That secondary question is sort of rings to I forgot the guy's name that I had dropped down from the panel. I forgot his name already, but he was saying something about he was making the how does it affect you argument with other people do, and it reeked of that whole just don't talk about it type of thing, or don't say nothing about it, or just go do this. It's almost like they're saying go off and quietly, figure out your own life. Don't talk about the larger problems. It's almost like a protection from criticism. It's almost like that's like the coded way to try to protect women from criticism. LAR, you actually did a stream on that was titled something about they want us to check or critique women privately or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, LAR?
Yeah. Don't say nothing to me in public while I cuss you out in public all the time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well,
I'm telling the world you ain't ish, but when you talk to me, tell me, in the bathroom with the music on and whisper.
Well, Bernard, it's more sinister than that, and I see that going on a lot in this spaces. Basically, because men, it's a shameful thing for a man to admit that he may have relationship problems. So what they're doing, or what they're attempting to do with that, is they're trying to position you to either admit that you have a relationship problem personally, which is why they personalize the question, and if you don't, then you shouldn't care about any other problems. That's what they're trying to do. It's an attempt to say, well, why don't you just pick other women? It's pathetic, in my opinion.
But I also, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jackie. You got it.
But I also think there's certain people that really think that society around them or their community does not matter. It's never going to affect them. Like, they think if they have all their stuff in order, none of that stuff will ever affect them. There's people that really believe that.
Yeah, and they're also trying to get you to state that you don't have all your stuff in order, and therefore, it's. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's a shame tactic. In addition to what you just described. Now, as far as what I was talking about, Obsidian, about spreading the culture and things like that, you see, that is how culture spreads. You do talk to, you of course preach to the choir, and you preach to the converts, and you preach to the regulars that come to your church. That's what you preach to, pretty much those who listen. I mean, like Malcolm X converted to Islam. I mean, we know how that, or I should say, Malcolm Little, Detroit Red, whatever you want to call him, prior to that, he converted because the message was spread to him. Like the people in prison, Bain, I think his name was, he didn't just preach to other people who were already Muslims. He reached out to somebody who wasn't. And that's the same for any religion, and religion and culture goes hand in hand. Like,
right. Why do Mormons go knocking on doors?
I was just going to use that as an example. Exactly. So, I mean, they also already talked to existing Mormons, and they have all of Utah pretty much. They have their existing thriving culture, and they do ride on bikes and knock on doors, even though the people who are doing so, the young men who are doing so, are already established individually within their culture. They have to do that. They have to do their mission work, and pretty much every organized religion do mission work where they convert others to spread their culture, because that's how you spread a culture.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We can pretty much wrap this bad boy up. We can do some more or less some last words. I'll start with Jackie Jack, game changer. I don't know if you want those to be your last words, but I go with Jackie Jack. Go ahead. Any final words? Any final thoughts?
I don't have any final thoughts. I want to say thanks for having me again. I guess I'm gonna have to get used to like jumping in. It's just I'm so used to like
Yeah.
just
No,
letting
yeah. I try
people
to.
stop.
Yeah, I try to do. No, when you sit there and wait for somebody to stop talking, as soon as somebody take a breath, the person who's quick with the trigger going to jump right in on the breath. You got to jump right in on the breath. But I try to do a better job at passing it around. You said you're supposed to be starting to start a channel.
Yeah, I
No.
started it. I haven't posted anything.
Okay. All right. Cool. Obsidian, you got any final words, final thoughts?
Yeah. Well, the question of culture reminds me of our conversation yesterday about community. And what I find interesting here is that the brothers on the panel are deeply interested in at least one, which to my mind is inseparable with the other. What's a community without culture, and what's a culture without community?
You said the brothers on the panel are interested in just one of those?
I said what's interesting is the interest of the brothers on the panel on this cultural question. And in my view, y'all may disagree, culture and community are intertwined or interchangeable.
Oh no, I think I agree with that. I
And
think everybody agree with that.
that's a very interesting point in relation to our conversation yesterday about culture. Excuse me, about community. In that particular instance, the general consensus seemed to be that what men do is a personal matter. It's an individual matter. It's a personal matter. It has little, if any, effect on the culture at large / community at large. But when it comes to Black women, it's a very important issue that what they do can have a community-wide or culture-wide effect, and therefore strenuous intervention is needed.
When did somebody say that what Black men do don't matter?
Yes, in yesterday's conversation, and to be fair to LAR and Game Changer, I'm not going to assume that they knew what we were talking about. Quickly, the question on the floor was whether or not Kevin Samuels's response to Nicki Minaj and her discussion with Joe Budden on Instagram Live, was it too little, too late?
Okay.
We went from there, and I had suggested that if anybody needed to have a discussion, Kevin Samuels and fill in the blank, it's not so much Nicki Minaj, but Joe Budden, on the basis that if we accept the premise that Black men are the leaders of the community, then we got to get Black men straightened out first, Black women second. That's where that conversation came from. So I just find it interesting. It's very, very, very.
Did anybody say that Black men that Black men shouldn't get straightened out? Those that are unstraight shouldn't be straightened out? Did anybody say that?
What was said was that it was clear that the priority needed to be focused on the individual Nicki Minaj, but the wider culture that she had an impact on. And I'm just observing that. It's just a very interesting.
I don't recall that being the conversation.
Yeah, you and I talked about it. yesterday.
I don't recall saying what you're saying was said.
You didn't. Many people in your chat room did.
All right.
There seems to be a major consensus that when it comes to these cultural questions, strenuous intervention is called for with regard to black women. But on these questions with regard to black men, it's I would even go so far as to say a laissez-faire type of attitude.
I don't think it would be a civil war in the exploding black manosphere if that was the case. That what men do and how men conduct themselves culturally, if that was just laissez-faire, nobody cares,
How's it a
nobody.
civil war?
Okay, and that I'm not going down that
I
rabbit.
don't see it
What
as
I'm saying is there. Well, okay, that's great. What I'm saying is there's clearly debate amongst men about how men should move. That's what
debate
I'm
among
saying.
who? Because it's not
Amongst,
debate for me. My position was good fences make good neighbors. That was it.
okay, I'm no. I'm not talking about. No, I'm not going down that route either. What I'm saying is that clearly, there's debate amongst men about how men should move, and that's important. That's important to men. Like so, all right. I see that debate long, far, and wide in many ways. It wouldn't be nearly as many arguments, nearly as many disagreements if we just we're not just
Well, how
one.
about this? The bottom line is that clearly community matters to us. Can we
Yes,
agree on that? Okay, fair enough. Got it.
culture and community matters, and that's why you
Okay.
predicated. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right, LAR, do you got some final words?
This is a great show. How about I end it in a classy manner and diss every black man in the black manosphere that I like and don't like, so we can start a war and it's Bernard's fault.
All right.
Is that cool?
Yeah, that would be cool. That would work. All right. To everybody in the chat room, look, thank you to everybody who supported the stream in any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate you. Anybody you like, share, subscribe, whatever you did to participate. Cold Steel in the building. I see you popping in late. Shout out to everybody. Appreciate all of you. And with that said, we are out of here. Peace.